Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is David Palmer, Leo King, and Fixed Air Moon Brian Scarborough here for Deep Spiritual Tarot for this week of March the 7th through the 13th.
That's correct.
Of 2023. Hope everybody's doing wonderful out there. Big fucking week, I'm just going to say for everybody. Saturn moving into Pisces, full moon right now in Virgo, as we all wait for that daunting moment or exhilarating moment, but both at the same time with Pluto in Aquarius by the 23rd. If you've never watched the show before, this is, of course, where Brian and I are going to go deep into your tarot. He's going to do the astrology for your sun sign this week. Of course, we don't do it normally. We don't do anything like everybody else here on High Vibe TV, where we're going to look at all 12 zodiac from picking them out of the High Vibe Golden Chalice. I'll be throwing the cards down. Brian will then be, of course, doing the astrology as I'm shuffling in between signs. And then right after, we do a spiritual daddy where we actually do overtime, where we talk about a very intense issue, which I don't even know what the issue is we're talking about tonight. So that's going to even be more fun. The best part, too, make sure that you're on High Vibe TV and make sure that you follow Brian. Brian is Fixed Air Moon. You can follow him on YouTube, Instagram, anywhere for his astrology and his channels. Going to get a reading for him, anything like that. I'm here at High Vibe TV. Go to High Vibe TV to get all my horoscopes, all my videos, and my Pluto Masterclass, which is at High Vibe TV School. This has been the most extreme school I've ever done, and I've done a lot of extreme schools. High Vibe TV School is an awesome light worker school. I've been doing it for fucking a long time, and this one is my Pluto Masterclass, especially as Pluto's about to come in. How does it work for you and your sign? Check it out. It's only $125 for 9 classes over 4 hours apiece. You're getting a lot of content. Well, I hope you're doing well, Brian.
I am doing very well. Thank you very much for that kind intro. The energy is popping, is it not?
It's popping.
It's popping. That full moon's bringing it out. Yeah, it was a good weekend. Took some pictures of that moon before it was full. Did some meditation in the desert. Took some cool pictures of Lauren. Yeah, everything's cool, man. I'm ready to rock with the show. I honestly have no idea what we're talking about with Spiritual Daddy, but I think that's going to make it that much better. So we'll see.
What if we call it the future that's not the future in between Saturn, Pisces, and Pluto into Capricorn?
I'll write that down.
Something weird. I don't know. Or maybe, yeah, well, I feel like we should have a subject. But I feel like it's like, are we really shifted? Or is there still more to happen?
Oh, there's plenty more to happen.
I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one. I kind of feel like this one's going to bring up a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot going on, you know. Being an astrologer, Brian and I can tell you it's not normal out there. But that's the whole other thing is, I think, is, hey, get ready. It's all new, literally. So don't trip when it feels odd, because that means you're in the right energy. Shouldn't feel like normal. There is no such thing. First one we're going to do is Aquarius today. It's not their birthdays, but it is them free of Saturn this week, finally. So it'll be interesting. Of course, card-wise, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check out what's going on spiritually, overlook career, love. Then I do what's the result, and then pull a couple oracle cards, go into your Astro Dice, and send you off to Brian. So Aquarius, Saturn coming out of your sign. Always the hopeful energy that comes. Just remember, finances now. Money. Money, money, money. You should start listening to songs about money, or that might trigger you.
Got to have money.
Oh, Aquarius is going to have to learn about money. All right, let's see what's going on. What came up in your cards? You got the 10 of Swords in reversed with the Knight of Swords with the 2 of Pentacles. I do feel, wow, right away I was like, Knight of Swords with a Knight, that's 10 of Swords reversed. I feel like, you know what? It's not as bad as you think. You don't need to rush to save the day or figure something out really quick. You need to stay in balance and realize there's 2 different sides of things and find a way to equal things out. This almost feels like a fear or a rush to save or to fix something or to make something be changed when that's an old pattern that hasn't stopped. It's almost like the freak out that happens, and this is about finding the balance of, hey, everything's maybe not as bad as you think. I don't think things are as bad as you think. You don't need to rush. You don't need to just save the day. You don't need to rush. It also could be news really fast and getting too excited about it when it's the same pattern, when it's like, hey, let me weigh this out. Wow, when it comes to your career, you got the 10 of Cups upright with the 7 of Wands. Keep staying on the path that's bringing you to your happiness and bliss. Hold the ground. This is definitely a time for you to not freak out. This could be an energy where you think that you need to bolt out of the situation in life, in your career life, to get to your, where your hopes really are, where your ultimate happiness is. No, keep holding the line on where that is. I don't think that you need to bolt anywhere. You need to stay grounded right now. I'm already getting staying grounded is very important. I'll pull one more card here. What's coming up here for you? 6 of Cups. That's in the past. I feel like, you know what? You definitely don't want to do past shit. I think they're bad memories anyways of where you always think something's better than what you act. I think you don't realize how good things are for you in this moment to keep using and capitalizing on career-wise and overall. Love-wise, King of Swords here with the 5 of Swords, with the 3 of Swords reversed. I do feel like communication is going to be a big part of this, but also you don't want to force something. Nothing's as bad as you think it is. Again, there's nothing as bad as you think it is. You don't need to confront some issue. You want to be clear, but I don't think that you need to, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. You don't want to push people away. Right? And things aren't as heartbreaking as you think it is, but they're all 3 swords. They're all 3 communication. So remember, Aquarius rising, it's not as dire as you think. I'm getting that all over the place. It's not as dire in your love life as you think. It's not as dire in your overall spiritual life. It's not as dire in your career life. I think you need to chill the fuck out. Be clear. But I do feel that, things are better than you really think and nothing is as bad as it looks. It might feel like you're coming to the line with shit, but it's not. Your results here is Queen of Wands reversed with the Death card. You know what? You are going through a major powerful change and maybe you might not feel comfortable with how it feels or it looks. You want to feel a certain way. You want to feel that, you're on top of the world and everything feels good and that what makes you happy. I do feel like that you can still remember that you can be happy, but you're definitely in a transition. I think that you are going through a very positive one and a lot of things are coming out. And what's coming out? The things that really make you unhappy, which is the way that you react to situations. So pay attention to how you typically react. Get out of those old reaction places and freakouts because it'll help you. Where are you in Avalon this week? Well, you got Camelot. You're on your way to the golden place. You're on your way to your dream everywhere you go. I feel it. So no freakouts. It's not like the fucking horse is going to kick over. It did not get a Pfizer shot yet. That was a good one. Fucking shit. What a weird thing to freak out about. Is my horse going to fucking freak out? Oh, good thing that's not in our gas tanks. Or we'd all be like, is my car going to get there? It's not that bad. Good. Damn. Oh, your shadow this week is sacrifice. I think you got this last week. I don't remember, but I almost feel like you did, but maybe not. I think that you think there's some big sacrifice you have to make. There's not. Yeah, I think you've already sacrificed enough. You don't need to. It almost kind of feels like, oh, I have to do something in order to get this. You don't. I think that's the shadow, and I think that's what you're confronting very deeply. Your overall is the World card reversed. I mean, with the Death card and with what I'm seeing here is let things just change over. You don't need to make things unnaturally and go quick towards them and figure it all out. Like, just let things be and let things turn to where they need to. Stop trying to control things by how fast you react, how you do something a certain way. That's not going to be how you get there this week or how you get to this great place. Congratulations, Saturn is out of your sign. Mercury in the second house. I've been saying you got to think about money. I know money's on the mind. I think you're freaking out about finances, money, or your self-worth or how you're going to create something. You are so smart. Step back and use that Aquarius energy that you've learned for the last 3 years to know how to see the better picture and how all the pieces come together instead of running for one piece at a time.
All right, Aquarius, Saturn out of your first house, out of your sign. What a big grow-up moment that is. No matter how old you are, no matter where you're at in your life, just having that happen is a big maturity point in evolution. So you've learned a lot about yourself. You've learned a lot about how much power you have, how you actually do hold weight. You know, you what you want, what you can go get, it has purpose. So now it's the time to build off that. It's about your second house with Saturn coming in there. So deals, of course, with money, but it's your self-worth, your value. If you value yourself, if you feel worthy, if you feel secure in your being, you will attract abundance. So this is just a big check. Like Saturn's going to bring up tests. Like, all right, you found your authority within yourself. Now, can you create based off that authority? Or are you going to second guess yourself, doubt yourself, worry? You know, it could bring up fears of lack. You're not lacking. So this is definitely a big moment here for the next 3 years of Saturn in your second to realize that you are worthy of abundance, but you have to put effort in. It is second house energy. It's earth energy, even though it is Pisces, right? So it really is about the compassion that you show and the love that you show for yourself that brings you the intensity and the drive to go manifest dreams, to go create abundance in your life. You have to know you're secure, safe, and potent, and you will do just fine. And of course, you have this full moon taking place in your 8th house. Ooh. Very interesting.
Bow, chicka, wow, wow.
Very interesting. Well, it could be, you know, part of the transformation of stepping into your power. Could be more tests, maybe. Tests of, do you know your power, or do you know how to surrender at the same time with Pluto finishing in your 12th? Do you know how to trust to attain value in your life? Things to remember to keep in mind and to let the transformation of value take place so that you can go further and farther and build something sustainable that matches the frequency of value that you now possess. Congratulations.
I love the way you say that. You're like, in the 8th house.
Yeah, I kind of had to think about it for a second.
Well, I was thinking, you know, I don't know if you caught Russell Brand, and he was on Bill Maher this weekend. Bill Maher's an Aquarius, and he was laughing so fucking hard at Russell Brand just drop truth bombs, right? And that's how I know he's a real motherfucker. And he's on the team of the people. And I think Aquarius, have to remember, it's like, I think it's so weird to have Virgo so narrow in the 8th house being an Aquarius. Because you would think, oh, that's a little weird. You want it a certain way. Yeah, it's got to be extreme, and it has to work, and it has to make sense. It has to be a pure, extreme, passionate thing. And for an Aquarius, it's not funny. It's not intense. It's not what you want. I don't think that, you know, Aquarius has become too nitpicky, but I do feel like it's got to work with your system. This is also tax time for you and thinking about your finances and your future, your finances extreme. So just don't trip out about that. And one thing is, there is power through intimacy and connection, just as much as Brian said about your holding your value, but also the power of creation comes in emotional intensity. I was in the background ruining his horoscope by going, ah! Gemini risings. You know, that's just a beautiful thing, right? You could be saying something in the background, and Leo King's fucking going, I was about to go, oh, yeah, yeah. Ooh. Although Gemini likes that. Talk to me, it's hot. Oh my God, talk to me. Tell me you're the plumber. I don't want to hear daddy. I hear that all the time.
Just lay the pipe.
Tell me you're the plumber.
Lay the pipe.
I don't want to hear that you're my astrologer. Tell me you're the plumber. Why? I don't know. It's hot. Tell me you're the whale.
Mario or Luigi?
Yeah. You know what? Say you're King Koopa. All right. Geminis. Hope you guys are doing okay. I know it's hairy out there for you all, and it's getting more hairier. Yeah, good. Remember that. Don't forget to have some fun. Be a little crazy. You did pull the 5 of Swords, the Strength card reversed, the Fool. All right. I think you need to remember you can keep starting fresh and clean. Yes. It might be hard, though. That Strength card reversed. it almost kind of feels like you're cornered. Whenever I see the Five of Swords and I see some weird cards like this, I almost feel like it's like, I'm cornered. I don't know what to do, but I'm ready to fucking do whatever it takes to get out of the corner. Don't do that. Find your strength and start this journey. I would say don't get into fights. Don't get into stupid arguments. Don't get in arguments with yourself. Don't beat yourself up. And also don't get to a place where it's like, okay, I have to do this in order to get that, and I have to do it now. And if I don't, because you're too afraid to just... Let me just realize I'm on this new journey and there's a lot of resets happening for me, and let me just go in that direction. I don't think that you need to trip your mind out, or you're not as backed in the corner as you think you are. It's the strength you're lacking, and also you need to tame it, but at the same time you also need to use it. That's the strength card. It's about understanding how to tame the energy of strength. But it's reversed. Sometimes we can be untamed, and with that Five of Swords, I'll fucking say whatever I want to do. Fuck you. Like, whoa. Don't be the fool in that kind of way. For career, Ace of Pentacles in reversed, Four of Swords. I do feel like it almost feels like there's an opportunity you thought, but you don't see it happening right now. It's not, the door's not open. It's almost like some vision that you had, some opportunity might have been plucked away recently. Or that this week is one where it gets pulled away. But I think it's for your better good. Rejection is protection. And that Four of Swords there is that protection element. Maybe what you've been eyeing in your life for your path right now, especially with Saturn coming into Pisces, your 10th house, you have to realize that this is always what Geminis have to get into, is the understanding that rejection from the universe about certain opportunities are protection from God, from Spirit. And I feel like with this Four of Swords, that's what's happening here. Maybe it's not really good for you foundationally to try and reach for this place or to try and do this thing. Yep. King of Wands. What you really want and what makes you happy will show. If it's not working out, if there's some opportunity or path right now that's just slowing itself down or it's not working, it's shutting down, it's because it's not really in what your heart wants and where you really feel not only secure, but I think like super secure in your own space of happiness and emotional place where you can even recharge correctly. When it comes to relationships, you did get the Queen of Wands in reversed. You got it with the High Priestess, and you did get it with the Page of Pentacles. I do feel like you're very intuitive to know who's being real and who's not. And I think that I would think it'd be smart for you this week to pay attention to not getting overly excited about things until you have really been focused on, are we on the same values? Having those conversations and also listening to your intuition. If your intuition's saying, oh, you know what? They're coming from being real, or it's me also intuitively feeling like my value, I need to put something out there. Do it and question without worrying about if it's going to ruin the possibility of your relationship going to a bad place or a new possibility going to a bad place. But there's definitely, I feel, something intuitively here that you need to pay attention to, that I think you need to speak while at the same time you're going to be spoken to. And I think that you need to not put it all on, well, I have to respond this way, or I can't say anything, because you don't want to ruin something. I think this Queen of Wands is saying, like, let go for a sec and just put it back to the intuition and put it back to a place where you can really see if it's really, I mean, you could be dealing with somebody who's saying they do something and they really don't. Yeah, you got the Emperor here. Be a little bit, definitely you're going to have to be much more bold, and you're more important than, let me be nice about it. Again, you do got a Five of Swords over here with the Fool. You don't want to be stupid, but you also, when it comes to how you react to people. But I think that it's okay to question, okay to put yourself first, and to make sure that the values are there and whatever your intuition is pulling up, on. And, stop also being so upset if your happiness love-wise is not exactly there. The universe is showing you how to understand it better. Your outcome is the Ace of Wands upright with the Seven of Pentacles reversed. So overall, I feel that this whole thing is about the door of your true happiness is revealing itself, but it's not going to reveal itself through maybe the opportunities you expected, or you might feel cornered, or you might feel, like you have to be a certain way in relationships and conversations. I do feel like you do have to put in the work, though. That Seven of Pentacles in reversed is saying, like, here's an opportunity to be happy, but are you putting in all that work? You might be moved all over the place. You may be putting your energy so focused on one area. You need to remember the number one area is your overall happiness. The number one area is to find that happiness, be surrounded by that, and you need to invest more in there. And also just overall, because this is your outcome card, wherever you're not putting that much energy in, you're not getting that much energy back. So where are you putting too much energy and not getting anything back that's truly happy, you need to cut off this week in order for you to start getting returns back. You did get the chalice well, so you're drinking from the well that restores us, that Mother Earth energy, that sanctuary energy. I do feel like you are protected. You are not backed in a corner. You are not some little chihuahua pissing all over itself in an alley next to a fucking crackhead on the dumpster. You know, like, this is not that bad. This is a moment for you to reground yourself and get in touch with how to recoup your energy back and put it to the place that makes you truly happy. I'm getting that all over the place. You did get the colorless angel. So your shadow this week is to not be in this idea of depression or this idea that it's not going well, and to be loathing on it when it's really not. Bring the color back into your life. Bring the positivity back into your life. What did we get here for you as your overall? You did get the Empress reverse. So it does feel like you've lost your mojo of beauty and the creation energy when that's not true. I think that you have to relook at all this stuff and realize that it's not as bad as you think. And maybe it's also about the energies that you're connecting to, or the opportunities or the outcomes that you're expecting certain things to be beautiful that aren't, that are reflecting on you, that you need to look at the reflection much deeper. Your Astro Dice for this week is 10th house, Venus. Well, somebody's going to have to take some much better understanding of their authority and their boundaries, especially when it comes to relationships and your money and your work, and actually make sure that it's important and it's taking you in the right way. And you got to be adult about it, and you got to get back to work. If you're having work issues and you're being lazy, not going to be helpful.
Yeah, Gemini, it's definitely go time. Like, kind of stomping that foot on the gas pedal. I mean, Saturn coming into your 10th house. This is a great place for Saturn to be. It loves that energy, but it challenges you to work harder, to put more effort in, to have more integrity, to take on more responsibilities. And with a full moon in your 4th house, you're having to, release the need to just lay around, to just chill out, to just be, oh, I'm safe, I'm secure, I'm comfortable. That's all well and dandy to have those attributes, but you have to put them towards something you want to achieve. Like, the more you do right now, the more you take on, the more you will get rewarded, the more success you will have, and you'll see things just start to take off, especially with Saturn now almost out of shadow in your 1st house. It's almost done. It's going to square Neptune this week. But really, with Saturn coming in and Mars getting ready to move into your 2nd, this is such a potent time for abundance if you're willing to put effort and work in. And you got to kind of leave the emotional baggage at home if that's what's stopping you from achieving more or trying more, or even just trying harder for something that you do love. I thought that was an important part of that reading too. Maybe it's not just about going after just something, but what does your heart really want? You got to look at these things. You got to go into a place that you feel like you want to put max effort to get max return. And if you can do that, it looks really good for you. So congratulations on a big Saturn in the 10th transit. That was a transit that changed my life. So I'm stoked for you that you get that.
Yeah, take the mask off and stop putting essential oil on the mask to think that it's still okay. You can't need to breathe the truth in your life. You are the one of truth. It's like a Hermes masking himself. Hermes cannot fly of truth into the underworld and back wearing a mask. And that mask is the false identity that you think you need to be to other people and all these things, when it's no, what awesome stuff do you bring the collective of truth? Remember, Aries is your 11th house with Jupiter, Venus, Sky right here. And with the Saturn now in Pisces, the divine, you have a deep, deep mission, and it's of truth. You are the messenger of the gods. What is that message? And get back to that and take the mask off and trying to cover it up with essential oils and all this Uranus in the 12th shit. No, take it off. Free yourself of all the shit that's holding you back. Especially, I feel like what Brian said, what the astrology said, what the tarot says is the energy you're around, you better make sure you understand what it is. Saturn holds you responsible for the wider view of like your responsibilities, especially with your spiritual energy. So you got to pay attention to that. Very intense right now. And put in that work. Like Brian says, it changes life. It changes all of our lives when we do see Saturn in the 10th. It is Pisces. Happy birthday, Pisces. Pisces risings. It's both Brian and my girl's birthday. Their birthdays are one day apart.
Back to back.
this week. Thursday, Friday, right?
Thursday, Friday, yep.
So happy birthday, babe.
to the fishies.
March 9th for Sophia. And she's pregnant on this birthday.
It's a big birthday.
She's got a little, I said this morning to her, I said, you my sexy little jelly bean, but you actually got a big old jelly bean up in there right now. So, all right, let's see what's going on. Happy birthday, Pisces. Big one for you, Saturn in your sign. Woo! With Neptune, nobody can say we know what that feels like in the home sign of Neptune's rulership of the Pisces energy. Shit. It's going to be gnarly. There's also going to be, can Pisces dreams become true? Yeah. Wow, you start off with the Emperor upright, the Page of Swords reversed, with the Tower reversed. So I feel like this is a week where you don't want to get lost and start tripping yourself out. You got to keep your eye on the mark. Remember, Mercury and this Page of Swords is the representative of what ultimate truth is. That's where it comes from. During the plagues and the painting, he's the only one that could see the truth. With the Tower card reversed here, I feel like you're distracted and thinking things are going to fall apart. You got the Emperor here. Nothing is going to take you down except yourself. And that's kind of the lesson of Saturn Pisces. Your own subconscious, your own mind, tripping out about things that are not as bad as you think they are. That's kind of been a theme today for the readings, but for you, it's almost like extreme Tower, which not falling, it's reversed. It's almost like maybe paying attention to things that have not that much merit and putting too much on them when you could be putting your energy towards things that actually would build something that could fall down one day, but they're not because nothing's happening. Sometimes the Tower reversed means you're not doing enough or you're not focusing on what's actually to do. That Emperor card's there to have you really fucking understand how powerful you are and to start using your energy more to get where you need to go and what actually has to be done. That Page of Swords, though, I always look at it in reversed. It almost feels like, I'm bored or things aren't happening. In the Tower reversed, you're worrying about things not happening. It's more like, what aren't you doing? You did get the Seven of Swords when it comes to your career with the Star card, with the Ten of Cups reversed. I do feel like the good news, the Star card's here, I do feel like you've been not understanding where you're going. You might have also felt like when it came to your business life or your passions or your career that there was some dark shit, some shady shit. I feel like you've cleared that. But I think that you don't know exactly how to get to your dream right now with your career business. It's almost like you keep holding yourself back. But I think a lot of that is with what we saw here in the overall spiritual spread. I want one more card, the Hermit. I feel like you are just still kind of treading water here, trying to understand where I think it's about getting out of the water and start to use your wisdom and go, you have all the powers, you have all the knowledge, and stop focusing on the shady shit in the past that you've already been cleared from. That Star card is remembering to also not connect with anything in your life that's about your past. It's about what's beautiful in your life now moving forward, and that this dream can happen, but using your wisdom and start moving. One thing, the Hermit moves. Even if he moves fucking slower than a snail, he moves. He doesn't stop. When it comes to your love life this week, you got the Page of Cups upright. Got the Temperance card. And you got the Eight of Pentacles upright. I do feel like this is definitely a moment where you're going to have a really powerful experience when it comes to understanding relationships that are beautiful, they're in flow, you're able to communicate, are so beautiful, but it's also about understanding that Eight of Pentacles, right? About knowing that the more you keep putting in, the more you keep getting a result out of. It feels like you are mastering your way to communicate your emotions better and also naturally finding natural relationships. If you're dealing with relationship issues, it's whenever you're jumping into that negative place that's not from a spiritual place or not a naturally grown relationship, or it's a unnatural relationship, or it feels like it's where you can't express yourself truly emotionally. And remembering to keep the positive. It's also important to have a partner that's positive to you and helping you focus on how to build to things that are great. You are in times where this is where it's about you just as much as it is about you understanding your power, but people that support you and people that really naturally want to see you grow and not take that away. Because you've dealt with a lot of that with Pluto that's been in your 11th for a while. Overall here, we did get the Page of Wands in reverse, and we got the Four of Swords upright. So I do feel like this is kind of a weird one, but it almost feels like whenever you're not happy about some little thing, it's like, I just want to just go. And that's where you're feeling exhausted and you need to keep restoring your energy. It's when you're in your negative place about positive things, or you don't think that positive things could happen. Stay in a positive position, be that emperor, stop. You got the only Page of Cups that I got, the pages that is upright in your relationship place, but in your overall spiritual, you got the Page of Swords reversed with the Tower card reversed, and then you got a Page of Wands here in reverse, and that's with the Four of Swords. I do feel like it's like your energy is being taxed by the negative energy that you're focusing on, that's unhappy, or that you want to be more stimulating in a certain way, or that where are you putting your energy? It needs to be consolidated to powerful places, and also in natural, beautiful places where you can be in harmony and be yourself relationship-wise, and also stop focusing on the past with career stuff. And what was there, what happened, who was there, and all that. Let all that go. In Avalon this week, you did get the Morgan of Le Fay. She is one that is bringing fate. There's going to be a lot of fate with Saturn, of course, being here. Prophecy. It almost feels like with that High Priestess energy, but different. It's much more, I think, connected to where you're starting to foreshadow where fate has brought you to, and how you're accepting that fate and realizing that this is a magical moment and prophecy has brought you here. But also for you to start to prophesize your future and start to pay attention to it instead of your mind, using the higher understanding of the divine tools to get to where your dreams are and to get to where you need to go. Your shadow this week is calling in the storm. You don't want to call in drama. You don't want to call in, especially a storm, to try and create something to change. Especially you don't want no towers falling that don't need to fall. You don't want drama that you don't need to bring. Definitely don't. Don't be calling on the storm to try and shake things up. Right now, you should be shaking things up by your own merits and good positive positions, instead of wanting the past or wanting some dark shit to happen just to try and stimulate the energy. Overall, you did get the Emperor reversed, and you already pulled the Emperor upright. So this is a message that's saying, stop being the person that doesn't think you are or have or can be what you want to be, or that things aren't going your direction. They are. You need to pull out this identity, not so much victim, but more of that you're unable to be what you want to be. Stop thinking of it as an expectation, a feeling. Start being the person you want to be. Start being it. There's a big difference. That's what Saturn's going to require you to do. You did get Ceres here in the 10th. I think that, it is weird because it's where we do understand how we can take care of, we can nurse, we can mother ourselves in a better position in the 10th. But it also is Ceres where we find ways to try and back out of commitments to that mothering. So I think when it comes to your destiny here, you have kind of a finicky relationship with it right now. You're on it, you're kind of not on it, you like to nurture it, and you like to pull out. You can't do that. The things that you're responsible for and that you want to reach to, you got to be more in. You got to be more in that nurturing nature and not be afraid of it.
Happy birthday, Pisces. And congratulations, what a birthday gift you do get. Saturn done with your 12th house. Congratulations. That's not an easy transit to go through. You learn a lot about letting things dissolve, how to take your spiritual integrity to the next level. There's certain things in life you got to strive for. There's certain things in life you got to let go. It's very weird. And now it's in your first. So it's crossing that theoretical rising, right, from your 12th house to your first. So big time to take that authority back in your life. The power's in your hands. You need to be the boss of your life, your identity, how you portray yourself. This brings up making decisions based on integrity, not just, making some childish maneuver. Like, you got to kind of look at the bigger picture. You got to take things seriously about yourself and what you really want so that you can build them and define them and make it happen. So this is definitely a big time for you on this birthday to really look at the next 3 years of your life and how can you achieve more for yourself? How can you go after life? How can you create? How can you make it magical? All the things. But you have to bring some structure to that. So this is good. It's going to bring the structure, I think, that you've desperately needed to ground you and give you a lot. And of course, this week you have a full moon tonight in your 7th house. So opposite that energy. And this brings up, of course, relationships, other people. It's in Virgo. You have a 7th house of Virgo. I mean, you could be emotionally wound up trying to be way too particular, trying to be way too nitpicky about relationships, when really it's maybe not the relationship that's the worst thing. Maybe it is. I mean, you're seeing things pretty clearly, but again, this kind of comes back to you being the boss of your life, but also looking at the mature, way to handle situations, how to communicate, how to express your emotion. Gemini, 4th house. Mars is over there, been there it feels like an eternity down there in your 4th house, but it's starting to square Neptune again in your 1st. Like, you have to understand who you are so that you can express the power to others and just yourself in a very true nature, a very authentic way of communicating your honest emotion so that you can get things balanced and in alignment. But, I think that you want to let things kind of blow over a little bit. See how Saturn feels in your 1st before you just make a really heightened decision about something, unless you do have all the facts straight, and you very well could, but it's time for you to make decisions for yourself. And this is a good test this week to see how you do with that.
Very much so. Very well put. It's a big test, but it also is, I think, it's not the hardest test. It's the 12th is the test that you went through of having to dissolve so much of who you really are not. And now you get to really embrace on who you really are. So it's always an achievement. But don't forget, just as you thought that your old self was fully gone, Pluto's coming soon. So Pisces aren't all the way out of the woods, and you're going to have to learn, but I think better than ever, knowing how to understand who you are and not go back. Especially because some belief system is telling you to do it. Aries rising. Aries rising. Well, welcome to Saturn in the 12th. At the front door of Saturn in the 12th is a crazy person, but no, they're not crazy. They're the crazy hospital admin. Can you put on this straitjacket, please? At the entrance is a hospital, a prison guard. No, I'm just kidding, even though those are the places where it could end up if you are not in your spiritual self. So pay attention to everything that you do, because there's a subconscious part of it all. It's going to be wild. And don't feel that you're losing. You never lose. You only can lose your soul. All right, let's see what's going on. You got Jupiter here for a little bit longer and Venus here for just a tad bit longer. And then you're going to really see the tests. So you're already like, I already saw them. I don't even know how. Oh, this is the lesson to give it to God. Put it all in there. What'd you get here? You got the Hermit reversed. You got the 7 of Cups. And you got the Judgment. Ooh. I love that you got that Judgment card. It does feel like there's a higher calling now. But I feel like you have a higher calling and that you have way too many things that you're trying to do. Or too many options. Or too many things that you're looking at that are like candy that still you feel unfulfilled. That Hermit reversed card, it's unsure. It's soaked up in a lot of knowledge. It feels like it just wants to be free, but I feel like there's more knowledge to try and understand, listening into your spiritual place. This is where you raise up to a higher calling here, but the 7 of Cups always feels empty and is looking for some beautiful place, some prize to have. Well, it's always about understanding that the prize spiritually is not the prize externally, but internally, and that Hermit card reversed is remembering to be a guide with it, which Aries and Aries risings could be the ultimate guides now in these transits, but it won't be from the vision of prizes. It's not a prize to be won. So I think that this is definitely a time for you to maybe pull back from prizes and pull back and actually like find your deepest spiritual self, because that's what the Judgment is here. And it is kind of a week of judgment for you in the astrology. Wow, you got the 9 of Cups in the career and the 10 of Pentacles in the career with an awesome 6 of Wands. There's a lot of passion in knowing where you can go. I think that it's not a prize for you. I think you know your path here. There's victory there. There's so much that you have to create on, and that's where you're fulfilled. Stay on that path. I think it's about aligning more of it with that spiritual understanding and not so much of the prize. and remembering that, your career could go great and you could be victorious, but if it doesn't go spiritually right, that it doesn't mean shit at the end of the day. The good news is I think that there's a well-lit path for you when it comes to your career. Relationship-wise right now, 3 of Wands in reversed, 3 of Cups. Well, that's a little crazy. 6 of Swords. Well, I do feel like, this is a moment where you just want things to go into a much more exciting and more positive space. That 3 of Wands, though, really doesn't know exactly where it's going to go. But it does feel like, you just got to trust and go with things this week. That 6 of Swords is taking you to a new place, relationship-wise. That 3 of Cups is definitely very social, but also understanding which people to be around, which people not. And then, of course, you got that 3 of Wands reversed, which is, it doesn't know where. It doesn't know the vision. It even also feels like maybe my partner's not seeing me for who I am. But I think that this is definitely a moment for you to understand. Again, it could be about other people, third parties, friends. But I think that for you, your work and understanding your spiritual path will take you in the right direction. And you're going to be able to see. There could be some weird people that are involved with your relationships that are causing some problems. That 3 of Wands with not knowing where to go or making you feel complicated there. I'll pull one more card because that's a little complicated, that 3 of Wands reversed. Well, it's a Knight of Swords reversed. Yeah. If you need to try and save somebody, a person, a friend, it feels like somebody out of your own circle of your own inner happiness. Don't. It's not worth it. It's not worth the time, not worth the energy. You don't need to try and prove, I don't know why I got this, but you don't need to try and prove something like, I can fix that for you if you're dating somebody new and trying to go outside your bounds. It's like you don't know the person, you don't know these other people. Some people just got to fall on the sword themselves. You don't want to fall on your own sword. That's going to be a big part of these tests. Your outcome this week is, this is a very rare card. This is the Angel of the Night card, and there's only one card in here of that. I'll tell you about that card in a second. With the 2 of Cups reversed, you need to watch your shadows. That's very 12th house here. The hidden ones, the subconscious ones, especially when it comes to your emotions. 2 of Cups, definitely a card of emotions, relationships, but Angel of the Night. She likes the night. She tries to be the angel in the darkness and to find her desires, her wants, and you don't want to... I'll pull you one more. That's crazy. You got the 6 of Cups here. Feeling comfortable in the dark isn't the best place. This isn't so extreme Phoenix rising moment. That's your south node in the 8th that you don't need to pay attention to. It's about building beautiful things and staying in the positive direction, not being stuck in the shadows. You could be getting emotionally thirst trapped into that, and you don't want to go there to find emotional connection that's actually not there. Where are you in Avalon this week? Oh, you got Towson. It's, you know what? The harmonious harmonies of the harp will be the better place to be. Poetry, the storytelling. Stay on the positive end of things. Too many good things for your destiny and career here, but a huge judgment from the universe, and definitely removing yourself from a lot of people and situations that honestly are dark, and they are not in the light, and they are not there, and you need to stay with that positive energy. Towson reminds us to stay in that beautiful tranquility and with the beauty of the physical positive. Not be that angel of the night. Ooh, what's your shadow? Ooh, gilded regrets. I feel like this card is very much... You have regret for throwing down your boundaries of your spiritual life? You shouldn't. But also it could be like you having to face a regret that you've been not wanting to face. But there's no regrets because it's actually about the light part of your life. That's going to be an interesting week. Yeah, I think Aries is going to have a crazy week. And you got the Chariot. You are moving in Spirit's direction. You are going to be called to that this week, no matter what. So your spiritual life is everything, not only astrologically, but in this deck. And career and destiny is not an issue, but everything else that's surrounded by it that's not about the work and the spiritual life and all that, this Chariot card's taking you away, that Spirit's guiding. There's no reins on it. You don't have control of it. You only have control whether you jump in and let spirit take you in the right direction. You did get Astro Dice-wise, second house, Jupiter. Yeah, it's time to expand that understanding of your value, but more importantly, understanding this is definitely a time when you need to be around the light, be around that positivity, that creation energy. Definitely don't want to be playing in the darkness. That Angel of the Night card came with the Gilded Regret, and Taliesin is very Taurusan, right? Like, he's a Taurus Gemini energy. Like, yeah, let's play the harp. Stay up here. Stay with us. Don't be playing in the shadows.
All right, Aries, don't be playing in the shadows. It gets real shadowy when Saturn comes into the 12th. So I think you're ready for it. But this is a time where, with Saturn moving from Aquarius, your 11th to your 12th, that it is this big moment where your job is to stay committed to your spiritual purpose, to stay committed with God, to let God be in charge. You'll have your moments where you can take charge, of course, but you'll notice that the further you stray from your spiritual connection, from the universe, from your intuition, that you get checked. And the universe will put you on timeouts. Some people call those prison, institutionalized. It doesn't always happen that way, but sometimes this is where karmically we can imprison ourselves in certain situations in life because we're not following our intuition, we're not following the divine, we are acting too much from a place of ego. So we get checked. And we have to sit and we have to go inside. And there's a certain type of darkness that is inside that needs to be, it's your responsibility to learn about that. That's the right kind of darkness to be in. The darkness, though, of just wandering into stuff that's shady could come back and you could get in trouble. You can get caught by the universe. It's a very karmic time. Saturn is the planet of karma. The 12th house is the house of karma. So this 3 years either take you to Dharma and initiate you, or they kind of set you back in this repetitive loop that you have to go through again. So it's a big moment to not just push, but to really ask yourself, am I doing the right thing for the universe, for the collective, for the oneness, for how everything is intertwined and linked together? And I think that you're ready for that. This full moon in your 6th might be changing up routines to get you on that spiritual path more, having you release heavy burdens, stresses, things that don't matter. Pisces, 12th house, is trying to purify your reality, but it starts from within. So, it's a big moment for you. There's shifts and changes that have to be made so that you can purify your entire soul, so that you can be the best, be first. But right now, if you're just striving to be first or be the best, but it doesn't have some kind of bigger healing nature, either within yourself or for someone else, be careful that you're not just doing it from just ego, but you're doing it from the soul, and you'll be just fine.
I love that you said purify. I was going to say the same thing. This is the purification. It's a detox moment. It's awesome. I think Pluto and the end Capricorn here, there's, like Brian said, you can still fucking be the winner and get to where it needs. It needs that deep spiritual purpose. So it's a big moment for you, but it's one, like he said, it could be your ultimate dharma. This is the huge moment here. It's a really big spiritual test in many ways, and making sure that your reality is actually matching your spiritual life. Because I know it's sloppy. 12th house with Pisces for an Aries rising, that is the sloppiest 12th house it can get. And it might feel like everything's so colluded and swampy and so, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to get through this whirlpool of all this shit. But this full moon in Virgo is saying, hold on a second, let me simplify things. What's important? What's going to work for me? And so, this is an opportunity for you this week to really, purify through cleaning and making sure what's important, and only that, North Node and Taurus, what's important, what's valuable, what's the most important things to my spiritual path, and removing everything that's not. So it's a very big moment.
Hey, I'm Aries rising, so I'm with you, Aries. I'm part of it with you.
Aries rising, he understands. And I only say sloppy because Pisces 12th house and Saturn in Pisces is sloppy and Neptune in Pisces is sloppy. So it just feels like a broom where it's like, God, and the house isn't clean, and my car's not clean, and I didn't take a shower today. It's like, don't freak out. It's like, do one thing at a time, and also go, how did the room get so sloppy? How did the car get so sloppy? What was I paying? Was I leaving myself and my ego of what especially with Jupiter and Venus, it's super easy right now to be like, I'm doing what I want that makes me feel good without paying attention to, well, you got to still stay on top of shit too. Cancer risings. 12th house is pretty easy if you always go, well, how did it get so sloppy? And you replay the event in the past. That's my best advice for anybody that has 12th house transits. Like, replay the past. Like, how did it get sloppy? If you end up in a mental hospital, how did I end up in the mental hospital? I probably should have been smoking speed with fucking Nancy Pelosi's husband in the alley.
Be a wild experience, though.
True, that's the other enticing part of the 12th house is you could take a drug and you could feel so good and it's so imaginative, but then when you come back to reality, it's like,
what did I do?
I didn't sleep. I didn't take care of this shit. I didn't clean the cat box. I didn't take all the dog poop. And I forgot to clean the toilet myself, and I ended up wiping my butt the wrong way as a girl, and I got a UTI. Because in that moment, I was so imaginative. I felt so good. The ecstasy was so good, but I wiped my butt the wrong way, and the shit went in my fucking you-know-what.
Uh-oh.
That's 12th house.
That is 12th house.
That is 12th house. I didn't realize, a lot of girls with UTIs, you got to remember, wipe the opposite direction of the butthole.
Oh, God.
Wait, Cancer rising, right?
Yeah.
Right, ready to pick a new sign. Cancer was like, don't skip me. Don't skip me. Oh, we ain't skipping you, Cancer. Actually, Cancer's like, skip me. I don't want to know. Saturn in the night. I don't want to know now. I don't want to know if it's going to be good or not. I don't know if it's going to be. I don't want to see anything if it's good or bad. I just don't want to know. Don't play that game. You spiritually need to know. And if anybody knows, it is Cancer, but man, I feel like Cancer rising, it's been the hardest. Like, it's just nonstop Mars in the 12th. It's been nonstop fucking Saturn in the 8th, now coming into the 9th, and now, holy shit, Pluto coming into your 8th soon. Like, I feel like Cancer risings are definitely going through the edge of massive change, and they know it's there. It's ready to pop. But boy, oh boy, are you afraid of that balloon popping. Keep the Chinese balloon flying as long as possible. Cancer risings are the Chinese balloon. I'm having an observation. I'm trying to get all the info, but I don't want to be popped yet, even though I know I'm going to get popped. All right, what's going on, Cancer rising? I just did a good shuffle, and I also just, there you go. Here, I'll just cut the deck for you. There you go. All right, what'd you get? You got the King of Swords with Justin Bieber. You got the Ace of Cups in reverse. You got the Five of Wands. Ooh. You're gonna have to be straight. Gotta have to be very clear in what you're actually seeing, what actually is true. This is not an emotional time. You're gonna have conflicts, and you can't be just hoping for. I love how this Ace of Cups. This is the second version of Badass Tarot. But look at, she just wants to drink it all down. Nope, you can't. There is no refresh moment except for the moment of being honest and true. And there's going to be conflicts that you have to face and actually be very clear and stand your ground on and be very honest with yourself and honest with other people. But there is going to be conflicts. And I think that you want some sort of easy emotional refresh, but that's not the issue. It's the issue of the communication or the truth or what needs to really come out in that way. What's going on with your career aspect? The Hermit reversed here. King of Cups reversed. 10 of Cups upright. I feel like you do have a vision of the dream, but emotionally things aren't sitting right. And I also feel like you don't, it's like you know, but you don't know. Like the mastery here is understanding you need to pay attention to what's uncomfortable. And I almost feel like you're kind of avoiding that. There's much more, of course, as a Cancer, always to go emotional to understand what the fuck's going on. And I feel like this is now a moment for you to have a wider point of view that's going to be hard and also a challenge of beliefs. Now, you can have the ultimate dream, but it's almost like maybe the dream's shifting. right? Sometimes the ultimate dream in our life might be that big thing in life we think it is, and then it turns directions. This is where this King of Cups reversed is not feeling comfortable, and it's not feeling like it has the emotions understood with that Hermit reversed at all. But overall, you do feel like you understand where you want to be happy, but I think that you're getting down to the really nitty-gritty and the specifics and the deep truths here, and also having to realize that maybe you need to put a stop to how far-reaching you're continuing to hope for the dream to happen that's not happening, or the dream to be some filled-up place, but there's something missing, and you got to confront it this week. Your love life, 7 of Cups reversed, 5 of Pentacles reversed, 9 of Pentacles. Well, I feel like when I see that 5 of Pentacles reversed, especially that 7 of Cups reversed, I feel like that's the past. I feel like there's a lot of past things that have happened that you can let go of right now. You don't want to keep looking at that. But that 9 of Pentacles is understanding your worth and your value and how amazing you are. It's also, she's drinking lots of self-love to attract what she really wants. So I think if you are Cancer rising, you do have to really focus on, remember how amazing you are. And honestly, I feel like you're ditching a lot of people who haven't seen the value, who've made you feel weird. And also, I think that you were so hyper-focused on a prize of somebody and you felt really together, but I feel like maybe it just hasn't been working out that way, or maybe, what's up with that past shit? Oh, yeah, 9 of Pentacles. I feel like, you've done a lot of work and it almost feels like you don't want to have to change any direction or gear. But at the same time, this guy is sitting with a teddy bear in his car in traffic. I do feel like this is kind of one of those moments where it's like, okay, things do need to move in a direction. And there is that power of understanding your value and your wants and communicating it. And it's going to bring up challenges this week. What's your overall outcome? 6 of Cups reversed. Page of Pentacles upright. What used to be comfortable ain't no more. What used to be the past and the most beautiful things ain't no more. It's time to look at the future and what's positive now, what you want to create now. I think that you're really having to let go of the past. You're really having to accept the beauty and the awesomeness that you are in this moment. And you're going to have to be real and you're going to have to communicate that. And there is no safe passage. And instead, it's much more of being the passage to where you want to be. And getting through some of the things that have been bogging you down, and the situations and relationships that have been bogging you down, and in your career that's uncomfortable, because I think everything's connected to each other from what I'm reading. Because it's all connected to trying to I don't know, I'm going to put it this way. You're trying to resurrect the past feeling. And I think you realize that's not going to happen. So look at forward, look at where things are at. Page of Pentacles, there could be a bull run in your life, but you're still stuck in the bear trap. I don't know. I used a little financial there for you. You did get, the tour. You got the little rabbit. That's a long hill. And I know it might feel like you don't want to have to go on this journey up. But that's really where it's at, the positive energy for you. Especially, this is about finding true connection, clarity, truth, and being honest. It's the truth of realizing, okay, it might be a little round, but I can get all the way up there. It's not just a straight shot, though. But I think that you've been looking at it in so many different ways that it's time for you to find that straight shot and understand how to get there. And it's about being honest on the truth if the connection is really there in all aspects of your life, and finding that clarity. Because if you don't, you're really not connected to source in yourself. And if you're not connected to source in yourself, are you really connected to source? Atonement. You keep stabbing yourself in the back, or you feel like you keep being stabbed in the back. Well, that's your own choice. You have the choice of whether or not to keep letting somebody stab yourself in the back, or more importantly, feel like the universe is stabbing yourself in the back. It's always yourself that's making that choice. So this is definitely a time for you to stand up for yourself and also be honest with yourself and be honest with your feelings, and stop looking for the safe, easy way to not disrupt or do things when you're at a point to where, you don't need to go through this kind of crap anymore. What did you get as your overall here? The Magician card. Yeah, it's the first card of the Major Arcana after the Fool. It is where we finally understand how we can start to manifest and alchemize our true infinite universe here, and use the power of understanding all these things. I just said earlier, it feels like everything's connected to each other in this. Everything is with the Magician. So you have to start from this new space of creation, and some pieces are not going to be in, some pieces are. what is, what isn't. And no matter how emotional it is for you, you have to realize in order to be the magician that you need to be honest with yourself here and what that is. Wow, you got 12th house Saris here. Woo! You need to be okay with comforting yourself and being more, should I say, it's okay to mother on letting go of things. I feel like you have a very weird play here where you're too afraid to embrace what has to be left for your purity of your soul.
All right, Cancer. Saturn's coming into your 9th house. This is a house of beliefs, intuition, kind of like your big truth where you guide where you point your arrow in life. Saturn's not, it's not my favorite planet to be in the 9th, I'll be completely honest. It wants to restrict us. It wants to hold us back. It wants to program us to a belief that isn't ours, to a truth that isn't ours. So I think for this 3 years here, it's going to make everything feel small when really you have the authority to make it bigger, but you have to push the limits. You have to say, I'm going to put my effort and my integrity of my soul into my faith, into my direction, into how abundant and big this reality can be. But if you're going to play it small ball, then you're going to feel like you're just in small ball land. And especially with a full moon this week in that opposite house of your 3rd, this does bring up like the smaller environments, your mind. So there's a place here where 9th house wants you to be more intuitive. It wants you to, get abstract, look at the bigger picture, have a vision. But Saturn's like, can you have that vision with all the transformation you've been through? And you absolutely can. This is like a phoenix rising moment, but you have to take the authority for that. And you also have to kind of let go of the particular outcome so that you can see the bigger picture. Because you can almost be like emotionally so fixated and focused on every little detail to what's going on in your life that you're missing the bigger picture. So if you can take the authority back in your life over the next 3 years to look further, to look bigger, to look wider, and to learn that you can learn more too. It's not all about just what you know, even though you have the authority right now to channel so much of what your soul does know. You can get lost too trying to overthink these things when really your intuition does know. But you can also learn a lot too, because the intuition can guide you on an adventure and a journey that teaches you and takes you to more knowledge. So if you put effort and dedicate to more knowledge, you will find it. If you play small ball in life right now, you're going to get small ball. And this is your opportunity to play big, the big leagues.
It is the big leagues. Imagine Saturn and Sag. Anybody who's that. Most people that have that don't expand their life enough. They also don't believe it's possible, or they can't do that, or they stay in the same place all the time and don't expand. I think this is going to be the weird part. You're here for Uranus in the 11th with the North Node. New World, Saturn and Neptune in the 9th now, with Pluto about to come into your 8th. This is kind of in an extreme moment here that's going to be building that's already been, where all Cancer risings have to expand. They already feel like, I've already expanded so far. Imagine Elon Musk as a Cancer. I've already expanded so far. What do you mean? He's trying to go to Mars. Like, maybe he's going to go even farther. This is definitely a time in your life where, if you're just sitting in the same fucking environment this full moon, and it's crazy to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result of your imagination. That's Virgo in the 3rd for Cancer risings. Because emotions hold us in places that are crazy. And you're ruled by them. Sagittarius. I just saying Saturn and Sag. Most people with Saturn and Sag never move. It's really weird.
Some astrologers consider that to be bad luck.
I mean, some do, but Saturn comes into Jupiter's house and isn't as big. So it's one of those places to where it restricts it enough to where it feels like everything's positive, but I don't know if I want to expand enough. I don't know if I want to go on the adventure enough. I don't know if I want to explore that area enough, and it's like, there's still more room. Saturn can't cover all of Jupiter's house. So it's not really bad luck because it's really...
Yeah, I don't really
Jupiter's
agree
bigger
with
than
that,
Saturn.
But it's out there.
It definitely is. And it definitely could feel like you got bad luck when you really, the bad luck might be the thing that actually gets you to the good luck.
That's exactly how that works.
Right? So, well, okay. You're getting the bougie today, Sag. Bourgeois. You got Saturn coming into your third. Hey, I finally can say, or sorry, so your fourth. Oh my God, I can finally talk about your fourth house more. Shit. I already told you it's been sloppy. But finally, I think Sagittarius are going to be able to clean up life by wearing an emotional diaper. It's not just spraying all over your fucking shorts. Even if there depends, that's okay.
Instantly, Biden comes to mind.
Sag risings are where it depends now. It's all right. It's okay. You got to get your emotional, fucking chaotic, emotional, crazy, neurotic, fucking, not just a whirlpool. Fuck, that's a fucking offshore fucking hurricane. Emotionally going into the right place and trying to find some way to pick your emotional situations a lot better. And your home life situation, which is a little weird. Ace of Swords upright. I like to see that. Ace of Pentacles upright. Ten of Swords reversed. Oh, that's hilarious. Woo! I'm going to say it this way. Look at these opportunities. I finally found the clarity. I know what the opportunity is. Pay attention. Is this the same pattern that you haven't faced? Oh, look at this. This is it. It's always you found it. I found it. I found it. It is. This is it. I'm clear. I see it. This is the opportunity. Pay attention this week if you're just trying to find a way of bypassing what's going on. Career-wise, 4 of Swords reversed. 5 of Cups reversed. Knight of Swords reversed. Oh, that's a lot of past shit. I don't think your career is bad, but I don't think that you really feel secure in it, though. I don't think that you really feel confident that you want to stay in this certain position or how it's working. Get that Knight of Swords reversed, too. It almost feels like, oh, you want something to change really fast, and it's not. But I think that this is also where, nobody's going to change something for you. I almost feel like you're being sold on some opportunity that is the same kind of shit you've been sold on before that always fails. All right? It's yourself that creates the most powerful shit. And I do feel like, don't waste your time trying to impress others or to show off to others. That Knight of Swords is also the show off. I'll save the day. You need to, that 5 of Cups reversed. It's like in the past, this shit hasn't done, but you got a 4 of Swords here in reverse. You're not comfortable with the way things are going, and you do want some sort of saving thing. So any opportunity looks really good right now, but is she going to do the old patterns here? Love-wise, Queen of Wands reversed. 4 of Cups. Page of Pentacles reversed. Well, geez. Again, I've already been having these talks with all you Sagittarius. Now Saturn's in your 4th, especially now with Mars in your fucking 7th. Woo! I got to say, this is definitely a time for you to re-examine your relationships very intensely. I do feel like you might not be feeling like you're being seen or valued. You might be feeling like you're hoping for them, a person, a situation to change. And I'll finally see the gift eventually, but that's not it right now. When is it? And then that Queen of Wands reversed. It does feel like you are not very sure at all about what the fuck is going on with your relationship life. Not at all. I don't think like you feel like you're being valued at all. Page of Pentacles reversed. 9 of Pentacles reversed. It almost feels like maybe you don't feel beautiful, or somebody doesn't feel that you feel beautiful, or somebody's kind of tried to undercut you here. Or you're starting to doubt your ability to attract what you want in love, or you also don't feel that you're in love anymore with somebody. I'm not going to lie. That's pretty intense. Oh my God. I crowned that off with a 3 of Swords upright. Don't take this the wrong way, Sag. Take it as bad shit ain't maybe bad. Maybe this is just some really shitty relationship shit you've been through here that you thought was your golden ticket, and it wasn't. And you got to let it go. It's also affecting your work life. What's your outcome? 2 of Pentacles upright, 6 of Wands. Stop focusing on always being so victorious. I got to find the victory in my career. I got to find the victory in my relationship life. I got to find the victory of these opportunities and the clarity that's always been taking me in this crazy whitewash that I don't want to end up into. You need to balance your life out here. You need to understand what's in alignment, what you really want. I think your true self's actually coming out here. I feel like that you're being dampered down by some intense relationship situation. While at the same time, it's kind of like, you keep being too optimistic about things as if you found clarity or you found the thing in all aspects of your life, when really it's like, no, you need to weigh these things out. And I think that you need to stop wanting to be recognized for the victory you had, or even I think that you're realizing, maybe I need to still be out there on the quest. I think that there's more of the quest that you need to understand emotionally before you've already called it a day. It's definitely not the time to say, I figured it out. This is what it is. This is who it is. This is how I'm getting there. It's okay. It's okay to be a little emotionally lost at the moment. This is where you can start to regain your emotions by actually admitting first that you're emotionally lost. You and Avalon. Oh, you got King Arthur. Shit. This is about knowing your power and authority, and you better use it before it all gets taken away. That's the hard part about King Arthur. All the power in the universe and the world to make the greatest kingdom, but it all falls because he is in love with somebody who's not in love with him. Damn. Hiding your true self is your shadow. Damn. I mean, I don't think it's bad. It's about waking up to this sad rising, especially now that Saturn's in Pisces for you. It's okay to be emotionally in a space where you need to understand, especially since Saturn's your second house ruler, your value emotionally. You need to step that up. I almost feel like your past brought you to places to where you thought my value was crossed. I need to find something. And then you went to something that felt like gold, and it really was like, no, this is not gold. And it also has made you hide your true self. You're sad, right? You should be expressing yourself. Look at Joe Biden. Where the fuck is Joe Biden? Nobody understands, right? He's so hidden. So, think about that for yourself. What'd you get major arcana wise? You pulled 2, actually. That's crazy. You got the star card reversed with the moon card reversed. Ew, you're too afraid of the reset. You want to keep going through subconscious craziness. Be my guest, but it ain't going to turn out like a Beauty and the Beast movie. This is some deep subconscious shit that you're afraid to go to the new horizon that's clearing a lot of the shit and to be guided by the truth of the divine. It almost feels like that Ace of Swords and that Ace of Pentacles upright with the 10 of Swords reversed. It's like, again, I found the answer. I found a way through. It's like bypassing into, extending the situation through a little bit of a momentary aspect, or taking opportunity, which you already know intuitively is like, no, this isn't going to do. You need to face everything on head on right now. Especially, you got some really sloppy relationship, emotional situations going on that need to be cleaned up. Sun in the first. So you need to focus on yourself. You need to remember how to express yourself fully. I feel like you have another entity, another person that is dragging you down and is style writing you.
All right, Saturn in the 4th. Woo. Well, this is like, if you live in an old house or an old building, sometimes you got to shore up the foundation. Sometimes you got to re-pour the foundation. This is that moment in your life where you really do need to go within yourself, figure out where things are not structurally sound, and you have to go and take that authority, but that responsibility to make the changes yourself. Again, there's a full moon in your 10th. It's not about like the world. It's not about the society. It's not about people. It's not about job. It's not about career. I mean, it could feel like that's where you need to put all your emotion right now, but really it's coming straight back to that 4th house for you. and your home life, your emotions. If you don't shore up your foundation, the whole tower will crumble. And that's going to be the lesson of Saturn in the fourth, is learning how to take responsibility for your emotions, how to show up for yourself, how to take care of yourself, how to nurture yourself. But you do it through putting in effort and work, and you can't just run away, or you can't just escape to work or escape in a relationship. Especially with Mars, that retrograde in your seventh was gnarly. Like, that's where Venus eclipses were. It's where we just had the North Node before it came into Taurus. A lot has happened in your seventh house, and Mars is activating all of that. So if it is a relationship that's not, shoring up your foundation, this is where you got to go inside, feel things, and learn how to come out and express those things with integrity, not just bleh, emotional vomit. Bleh. Saturn will make you pay for just emotional vomit too. It wants you to do the work inside so that you can express what's really going on from a place of dignity, from a place of really knowing yourself and how you feel. It's emotional maturity. So that's how you're going to shore up your foundation, is by realizing that it's not about some crazy adventure all the time. Sometimes that adventure is actually just going in, doing the work within yourself to really find out what's going on in your base, and to know that you are always home base, no matter where the adventure takes you. And you're going to want to focus on that.
Sag always has to have a home. Pisces home is the escape. Let me go on the trip. Let me come back home to this sloppy situation. Sag risings always pick situations that they can bounce in and out of. Oh, yeah, we got some roommates. They take care of that. I'm gone. Oh, yeah, I'm staying with a friend. I'm gone. You got to have a foundation, even if you are the adventurer, and one that is spiritually cleansed, and ones where you understand what's actually happening. Your spiritual, emotional environment is so chaotic because of what's happening in your emotional foundation and how sloppy it's got. I know you want to go on the great adventures of all time. That'll come. But with a Venus retrograde in Leo this year, and Jupiter and Aries in your fifth, you got to put your personal happiness in life and stop trying to find that outside yourself. You got to find it within yourself, and you got some crazy ass relationships that are honestly the most dishonest, most not in alignment. I'm not saying they are, but for you and your spiritual emotional path, especially, you got to remember, you're at the end of Pluto and Capricorn. You're holding on to things and you won't let go. And you're, for some reason, Sag, whether it's the adventure, whether it's, you guys have the claws when it comes to fucking Capricorn. I will hold on to the ship even if it's horrible for me. You got to learn to let go. And your deepest fear is the adventure of your emotional life taking you to a good place. It's almost like the more beautiful heaven would be as a home, you'd want to escape that and fucking go to hell. Your 12th house imagination is the shadow. Think about that. Virgo ascendant. Virgos. Everybody loves a good Virgo. Well, Virgo and Saturn in the 7th. It's exalted with Neptune there. You're ruling Lord of your 7th. So even though Saturn's exalted here, it doesn't have as much power as Neptune. That's domicile. Dominant. It is the ruling Lord. And so this is the biggest relationship years of your life here. Choosing wisely. And also having to confront with this full moon your own life, and if it's in alignment in the reality with the relationship situations and your deeper shit. This is intense, and Mars still in the 10th. Big choices to make that have long aspects. And you can't pay attention. It was weird. I just saw Devil Reverse there at the bottom of the deck. All right, let's see what's going on here for you. I put that one back in because I just was like, you know what? To be Virgo, to be fair, I'm just going to let that one slide. That was fucking 7 of Cups, okay? You got Queen of Cups reversed. Judgment. Oh, I felt it. I felt the judgment this week, big time, coming out. Two of Wands. It's okay. You don't know where to go next, where you're uncomfortable with, because the judgment saying, trust the divine and it will take you where you need to go. I don't think you know what that looks like. But I think that you do have a big call right now in your life to start to follow where Spirit wants you to go. And it's nothing in which you think that you have the understanding or the control of the world. I mean, Saturn's opposing you if you're a Virgo, and your ascendant if you're a Virgo rising, right? It's opposing your way. And so that Queen of Cups in reversed is it's not emotionally stable, or you can't keep taking care of energy emotionally or pouring so many emotions out, not for yourself, and giving it all away. You can't nurture the world without nurturing yourself first. So there's a judgment about this, and it's almost like your world's being turned upside down here. I'll pick you one more. The Moon card, man, it's stuff that you know that you don't want to face emotionally that's coming out. What's going on with your career life? Well, the Empress reversed. Knight of Cups reversed. Well, maybe you enjoy the social parts of your career, but I don't think it's going anywhere right now. Knight of Cups in reverse and the Empress reverse. I mean, it's not really building anything. You just work is supposed to be fun, yes, but it's not about just the people. It's about the work. And this Knight of Cups is stopped. This Empress reverse is not creating anything. There's no abundance. There's no nothing. Especially, I would pay attention to, how it affects your financial. You could be giving too much away to certain people, and then it's holding your own career off. What's going on in your relationship life? Star card reversed here. Ace of Pentacles. The Hermit. I do feel that there's an opportunity here to find a way for things to start to create a better place, but it needs some time. That Hermit card needs to go deep within. The Star card reversed, though, has me a little perplexed because I do feel like something's holding that back. Something has to be cleaned out. Something has to be reset in a way that it's just not. Which actually, the Star card reversed is when we're not following the divine. We might trick ourselves and think we are, but we're really not. What's going on with that? Ace of Wands reversed. Ugh. Well, like in any old Pisces fashion, all the Pisces going up for Virgo risings, I just feel like, there are just things that are not going exactly the way that maybe you thought they would, and you have to take some time to understand where's the opportunity here for you to do the best for you in the long term and not be based off, oh, this is exciting, or, oh, it'll eventually shift to where I want it to shift eventually. It's like the Star card here is like always comes after the Tower. So, but the reversal is it's like there's a tower that fell, but you haven't really done the whole like let me be naked with the raw truth. And that Ace of Wands reversed is, I don't know. It almost feels like you think you don't have a road, you don't know where it's going to go. You're going to have a lot of big faith tests here, especially because I feel like you're giving a lot of your energy away and not getting any back. That Queen of Cups reversed, that Two of Wands reversed, that Empress reversed. What's your outcome? Ooh, Six of Pentacles reversed, and then a Four of Wands upright. I do feel like you have to stop giving away so much. And that was weird because I was like, I feel like you're giving too much away. That is Six of fucking Pentacles reversed. I've never seen it. You just can't be the charity giver. You need to have charity given to yourself, and you need to know how to take care of yourself. And then you can find the ultimate path here of happiness and where you're trying to find. I feel like you're doing it opposite. I think that, I don't know why I'm getting this, but it's like you gotta watch your finances here. That Empress reversed in your career path, that Knight of Cups reversed, and it's not moving anywhere. And then that Three of Cups, it's like, I'll pay attention to it later. Let's have fun now. I'm gonna just have fun now. There's a Judgment card blowing the horn. Pay attention. What's going on in Avalon for you? You got Guinevere here. Woo! You got that beauty, that sexuality. You got to use it, that love. But remember, she can't decide who she loves or not. Oh boy, does she attract good situations, but it all turns into fucking hell when she doesn't pick which side that she wants to be on. I know. Trust me. And you got the, wow, perchance to dream. To be or not to be, that is the question. That's that shadow that's hiding underneath. The unsurety of what to do. Am I into it? Am I not? Of course, you got a massive amount of relationship transits now hitting you, even Mercury here. I do feel like you're going to have to pay attention to that and just understand the true balance of it and see what the judgment is going on about. There's a lot of things, you know, you can't be giving away too much here of yourself, your emotions, your physical aspect, a lot of hidden aspects coming up that aren't really hidden. They just have been subconsciously suppressed. And also some big questions. Both cards deal with, I love you, but I also like something else, and I don't know what I want, and I really, yeah. What's going on with your major arcana? Judgment reversed. Damn. Somebody doesn't want to listen to the universe this week, and you got to. What is the message? Don't bury yourself and say, no, I don't want anything to change. This is Saturn and Pisces now. Look what happened to fucking Michael Jackson last time Saturn went into Pisces. Mercury in the 9th, definitely for you to look at other alternatives in all things and facts and understand there's quite a lot to look at. That's what Uranus is trying to help you with in the 9th anyway with the North Node, that there's more in the expanding and where there's actual creation and physical creation and abundance in different ways, you know, and all parties have to be involved in that creative process, you know. It's like definitely a time for you to understand what's going on the bigger picture of things instead of looking at the environment that you're pretty good at doing and what's happening in the reality. But where is this all going is the big thing.
All right, Virgo, Saturn in the 7th house. Woo, fun stuff. It is with Neptune, of course, the ruler of your 7th, like David mentioned, but it's about getting your contracts in order. This is about what's really balanced. That 6 of Pentacles was very fitting in reverse because where are you giving too much? Where are you taking too much? Saturn's going to come in and, you know, try and even the scales over time here. And that can feel harsh at times. It can feel like you actually have to come to a place where you're making really big decisions in regard with what you're relating to outside of yourself. Often this does bring on that relationship. You know, it's funny. I got married with Saturn in my 7th house. It's an interesting place. Karmically, relationships are going to be brought up for you. They're what you need to work on right now. They're what you need to learn has, you know, a very strong place in your life. They're meant to be of integrity. They're meant to be solid. They're meant to be beautiful and spiritual and, you know, beautiful from the soul. Sure, maybe physically too, but you're going to have a full moon in your 1st house, Virgo. This is like a reality check for you. And you're very reality based. But it's like, where do you need to step up and be more honest about what's going to bring more balance into your life? How do you align things better? It's almost like you have to initiate something, because if you don't, you're just repeating the same thing over and over again and nothing's ever getting to that place of alignment. Or it's never getting clean or cleansed. So I think it is an important week for you to remember that there's always a judge. And Saturn's the judge in Libra or the 7th house. And that's up to you now. So karmically, you get to be the judge of what you relate to, what you sign contracts with. And whether that works out or not in the future, that's up to karma. It's up to something else. But the point is that you want to find what does even out the scales. And if things don't, they don't. Like, it's not negotiating if you always say yes, right? It's not negotiating if you always say no. So you're going to have to come to this point to realize that you have a lot of power to find balance and harmony and to really purify contracts, whether they've been started already or they're starting in the future. But it's time to put that effort and that work in to understand and relate to things outside of yourself.
Well, remember, you're a virgin, Virgo. But it's real easy in the 7th of Pisces. If you're a worker in the fields, something can look so beautiful, especially relationship-wise. It'll take me out of my stress. The fields. Like Michael Jackson, for example. Oh, the children. Pay attention. You don't want to taint that virginity of the Virgo that's humble and at work and service that easily gets caught up into Neptune's grip of the wider places through how I connect and partner, and hopefully it'll pull me out of this field. But the field is where you're meant to be. Hope that helps instead of going into Neverland. There is no such thing as Neverland with relationships. Taurus rising. All right. Neverland. Also, people got weird on me about fucking Michael Jackson on High Vibe 3 weeks ago. And I then had to tell people, look at Cameron Diaz, 1994. She's in The Mask, the hot blonde. She never looked like that in a movie ever again. Okay? We all thought, yeah, that's Cameron Diaz. What the fuck happened to her? Same thing happened to Michael Jackson. Yeah, Michael. I don't know if I should be listening to his shit right now, especially by this school. Taurus. I don't have much to say to you, Taurus, except you got to learn how to really connect with people and that everybody is here to help you, but you have to also understand that it's on spiritual time, not your time. And everything is not on your time. You know what I mean? So, I know that you want to find happiness and love and all these great things right now, but, you got some lessons here when it comes to how well do you know how to play with the community well and stay with the community instead of running away. All right. You got the Six of Wands reversed. You've got the Strength card. Wow. I love that card, Nine of Cups in this deck. Ten of Cups in this deck. Yeah, I feel like you feel very confident in your dreams happening. The blood that you've wanted your whole life as a vampire is finally the right dose and flavor. Maybe it was never O positive, it was always AB negative. I don't know. But you finally have seen it, but I feel like that you're just looking at where you've never had victories and you don't think that you're going to make it happen for some reason. Oh God, I can see it. I have the strength to do it, but I don't know. I just don't think I'm going to be victorious. I think this is past situations. I'm going to give you clarifying. Yeah, temperance reverse, they weren't natural, or you didn't let them naturally happen. Dreams naturally happen. They don't happen when you force them, or when you pull out, or more importantly, when the victory isn't the way that you want it to, I'm out. You got to stay through the whole quest. What's going on with your career life? 3 of Swords. Ooh, so it does feel like, well, maybe in your overall dreams that's there, but I don't feel like that you're feeling the best when it comes to your career decision or your legacy or your business or your job. 6 of Swords reverse. You don't feel like it's going anywhere. You feel like you're stuck on an island of hell when it comes to your career and your destiny. And the Tower reverse. It's not as bad as you think. I just don't think you're working hard enough to where you really want to go. And maybe it's not about, I need to go to a better place. It's more about knowing you have everything that you need. Why don't you just start putting it together? Why don't you start actually building it up? You're so afraid of everything falling down when actually everything's falling down because you're not doing much about it. Keep looking around for an answer instead of doing something. And then you keep being heartbroken by it. What do we got here for your relationship life? Sun card reversed. 9 of Wands reversed. 3 of Wands reversed. Well, I don't think you know where you're going at all. But I do feel like that, your guard's down, but I don't think that you really understand yourself for what you really want. And I think that you need to step more into yourself here to make the dream. The funny part is the dream can happen. The strength's there, but it's again, this whole, I don't think the victory is going to happen. And that's not a true soul sun. That's like the reverse end of who you are, the negative end. It's weird because you got your doors open, but I also feel like you also don't even know what you want, or you even know where you want your relationship to go. And you got that with a Knight of Pentacles reversed. You feel stuck relationship-wise. Maybe you even feel that you're not good enough, or you feel that your self-worth is stuck. What's your overalls here? What's your, you did get the Hermit with the Death card reversed. Wow. I feel like in every way you're like, part of yourself is all gung-ho. It's going down. I'm making it happen. And then there's a huge hesitancy of the transformational aspect of it. And I have to fully commit myself and go through this all the way? I don't know about that. That's been the problem of why things didn't work out in the past, and that's the problem why it's not working out now. Don't repeat that pattern again. This is a fucking Saturn in the 11th. You have to learn to connect. You have to learn to try new things. You have to learn to be out in the world, not stuck in your own happy place of your home. Especially being stuck in a place that only makes you happy in very weird certain ways, instead of understanding that there's awesome places that could teach you about things that can really, people and situations that can bring you some great happiness here. What's going on? Where are you in Avalon this week? Well, you got the Abbey. It's time for you. This is the first card of that deck. It's that ultimate serenity you can have. You pulled the 10 of Cups. I do feel like it's not that bad the way you think it is. I think that your ultimate happiness and dreams and all that is there. It's just whether you're going to go to it and find that serenity in it, instead of looking at everything as something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. Something bad. What's your shadow? Well, maybe there's two ways to look at this. One, you're using the wrong way to attract energy. Or two, you're not attracting anything at all. You're too afraid. And you're using a fragrance and energy that you're just like, nobody wants to be around. Nobody wants to see you be like, or I don't know. Confidence of self-assurance is Taurus's path. You need to bring that. Shouldn't be like, I don't know, I'm unsure. That's not sexy. Not hot. Oh, you got the Sun card reversed, and you pulled that with your relationship thing. So I do feel like you feel that you're not in yourself. The answer is not outside of you, it's within you. It's time to be yourself. It's time to really allow yourself to shine your true self and what you want and your dream and that strength that you have, and just go be it. Be wise. You've got guide yourself to where you want to go here, and move through the fears, move through the I don't knows, and it's gonna go bad. At the end of the day, everybody's scared of the bull when it runs to it with the yellow or the red flag. It's not like, oh my God, a bull. Imagine a bull in fucking Spain running in every corner being, I don't know what's around the corner. Yeah, that's not a bull. I don't even know what I would call that. I would call that a fucking tadpole in a pool. What's happening? What's happening? And you're not that. Tadpole. You didn't get the 9th house, and you got it with Mercury. Well, I mean, it's kind of weird too, because I could turn that to the 11th, I could turn that to the 10th, and it was right there in the middle. So we're going to call that like the 10th house is between the 9th and the 11th. So it's like, I think that's where maybe your problem is like your belief systems, and also knowing how to connect, and the responsibility it takes to integrate both. You got to have belief systems that believe that you can connect with the world, that people are cool, and have a responsibility to stay on that and stay on your responsibilities, instead of, oh my God, my beliefs are not this, and those people don't do that, and I don't have to do no responsibility for that. Ooh.
Taurus. All right. Saturn in Pisces in the 11th. Well, are you going to lock yourself down? You're just going to put yourself on some seclusion island? You've just had so much in the 10th house of Aquarius with Saturn, Jupiter meeting there, Pluto coming into the 10th. You have so much to achieve in this world, so much to show up for, and it's built around uniqueness. So Saturn's coming in here and saying, are you going to connect? Are you going to show yourself? It takes courage, and you have a full moon in your 5th house, the opposite of that, in Virgo. So a lot of this is like really embracing the courage to be unique. You even have Uranus in your 1st house with the North Node still there. You could, I mean, this is where you can revolutionize the world. You can change the world. You can do something wild. Maybe not wild, like go full anarchy mode. Saturn's going to bring some structure to this. But I still think it's an important time for you to really realize how quantum everything can be, but it also involves people. It's not just singular. It's not just you or what you can get or getting so hyper-focused on your values and your uniqueness. You need to embrace all of that and show it, but you have to realize that everybody else is unique and different too. And if you can come to that place and be responsible about how you look at other people and say, oh yeah, that's right. We're all weird, unique humans in our own right, and we all have different values. You're going to do just fine, and you're going to see that you're going to have major breakouts that probably involve people. But people are going to be an interesting thing too, because you can also go too far and surround yourself with groups and people that hold you back or suppress you from your uniqueness and your individuality. So you have to find that sweet spot here of finding like-minded energy, but also not being so one-sided that there's only one way. There's a lot of ways. Think about how many ways there are, and don't limit yourself, but also don't suppress yourself and not show up to the world as your unique self that is here to exude confidence and value and maybe teach the world about how important that is.
Taurus, you'd appreciate me. I'm eating a fucking fudge brownie from Chick-fil-A.
Damn, that looks good.
But I think Brian said so much good stuff, especially, it's weird. People's a weird place with you. Put it this way. Tucker Carlson's on fire, yet do you see him meeting people? Imagine if that dude was to go out and do tours meeting people. That's Taurus's problem. A lot of people love you. A lot of people want to hang with you, but you don't want to fucking connect with people. So, yeah. Hitler did, and then he came into some weird shit where he did it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's a baby. I'm gonna just stay up at the fucking in my Austria house and run everything and run a country and not even be in the country. Well, it's part of the country now, but it's you don't get lost in your Austrian house and think you can understand the world up there. I made all my decisions, he said, looking into the mountains of the Austrian fucking mountains. Probably not the best choice. Made some fucked up fucking choices there. Just a warning, since, we are coming into Hitler degrees here of Uranus just in the next couple months. All right. You have the best example of somebody to... Taurus is the only sign that gets the only example of how not to be. Hitler. Leo, right. People are going to associate me with that. Oh, God, he's Hitler of astrology. No, I'm not trying to make a right in astrology. No, I'm not. Leo rising. Well, you ready to go into the haunted house? Saturn and Neptune in the 8th. Although it's not really the haunted house, but every kingdom needs financing and trust. Have you ever noticed that? It's like...
And a prison.
And a what?
Nothing.
And a prison?
Yeah.
Yeah, we keep that in the 4th house of Scorpio, like you never know the prison of the kingdom, right? It's like, take them down to the basement. What goes on down there? You don't want to know. Torture that motherfucker.
There's always got to be a Skid Row somewhere.
Torture that motherfucker. And I don't even want to hear it. Let their screams echo in the halls of the basement so it doesn't affect my beautiful Taurus 10th house top of the fucking tower of my beautiful castle with my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful queen. I don't want to hear that shit down there. But I think, I don't think a lot of Leos have heard this yet. Everybody's going to want to invest in Leo. The hottest stock on the market, now that Saturn's come in with Neptune and Pisces about investing in, with Uranus in the 10th and the North Node, and in with the Jupiter-Uranus coming next year and this year. You know who's going to be the most wanted to be invested in? Leos. So keep putting yourself out there, and you're going to have to realize you have to ask, and you have to find the people you trust. You've learned a lot about relationships. Mars still in the 11th. You're still waiting for some exciting moment to happen with people. It's coming. Keep putting out what you are. Keep putting your best work out. Don't be stuck just in your personal life and hoping something will happen. You got to be out there in the world. You got to keep putting it out there. And even though I know this end of Aquarius has been all the fucking peanut gallery being like, we don't like Leos. Well, they were looking up to people wearing masks. That's going to be the worst mistake of their lives. You know, the number one pictures that are going to be removed by people is fucking wearing a mask. There was a study. It's been now done multiple different places. Look it up. Ugly people wear masks. People who know they're hot don't wear the mask. Didn't. Remember how bright you shine. You can't put a mask on the sun. It'll burn. So, but trust issues come up. So stop. Don't start getting all crazy neurotic about trust. All right, what's going on? And also, but you have to make commitments, and they're commitments to God. They're commitment to the highest spirit. That's what you get. And ecstasy is through sex. But there is that weird aspect with Saturn about making sure that you've got it all worked out in a pure state, that you're not just going to be a sloppy sex fiend. I'm lucky I'm in a relationship, but for those single Leos out there, don't just start thinking, you know what, I'm just going to go fuck around and just fuck everything that walks. This is definitely the time where you got to realize, like, yeah, you don't want to be like a typical Leo or a king or a queen that gets syphilis. Just because the fucking little person who was helping you put on your fucking robe was willing to fucking play with your whatever. All right. Leos. But remember, you're the hottest stock on the market, so don't fuck that shit up as far as like getting lost in sexual stupid shit or secret stuff or, you know what I mean? Like, it's time for you to just be, all right, I know, I'm doing my spiritual work. Boom! The death card, the justice card reversed, the 3 of Wands upright. Big transformation here, but that justice reversed is a little funny to me. Because there is a 3 of Wands here. I feel like you understand what's transforming in the direction, but it does feel like it's like there's an imbalance here. And probably being the fact that you are a Leo, you have to remember that, especially at this time. You know what? I think what the transformation in this is a full moon in Virgo. This is a time where it's like, okay, you know what to invest in, and sometimes you have to invest a little bit more to get back and return what you need. So it's like go through this transformational process, and it might feel like you have to transform more than other people or other situations, but you know where it's going and it's worth that. Stop being like it's got to be perfect and everybody's got to be exactly in the fairness. It might not feel fair that you're having to do more, change more, do things, but you know where it's going. What's going on with your career life? You got the Empress upright. Is that the Knight? Yeah, this is the Knight of Pentacles reversed. Ace of Wands reversed. So that's weird. I mean, that's the best card to get in the career house. I mean, I feel like, you know your abundance, you know what you're good at, but I feel like you're wanting to maybe, you have some creative aspect. You have definitely something that you value that you want to start moving towards, and you kind of feel stuck on whether to do it. I would try it. You know, I feel like that you'll be successful, but I almost feel like you're doubting yourself or you feel stuck. You see it, but you don't. I'll give you, yep. It's time to stop holding on to the way that you think it's going to happen. Start to test that Empress. See the beauty that can be created here in your career life. You have a project, you have an idea, you have something, let go of like how you're holding on to things here, because I feel like you're bringing something out. You're ready to bring something out. You don't even know what it might look like yet. This is part of the transformation and part of the trust and part of, bringing it all out there. What's going on in your relationship life? Hangman reversed. 4 of Wands upright. Chariot. Hey, there I am. Damn, this is a good little spread here. You're not feeling like things are kind of stuck. It feels like there's definitely a lot to celebrate about. You feel like you understand relationships. That's definitely Saturn leaving your Aquarius 7th house and moving into the 8th. They definitely feel like you understand balance much better. You understand where things are going. There's a lot to be enjoyed for, and there's not much hanging around, literally. It almost feels like Leo's cleared out the black book that was not. That's why they call it a black book. It's black. It also feels like you spiritually are in aligned relationships with the same goal, the same happiness, the same love, and there's not much that you're stuck on. I think you've gotten a lot of awareness of it. And it's like you're coasting in the right direction now here. What's going on? What's your results? You got a 5 of Cups reversed with the Queen of Wands. Damn. Definitely feels like these are times where the sorrows of the past are gone and you are definitely stepping into your regality and your passion. Just don't forget to go for the things that you want to try. Test your powers. Don't hold them back. And it's never fair, Leo. We're the ones with all the energy. Nobody else can put the same amount of energy that we can in everything. Remember that shit. So it's really not fair, but it does work out because it's unfair for everybody else. So we're the sun and everybody else is a fucking planet or a fucking rock that revolves around the fucking earth that just reflects our light. So nobody else is fucking like us, so it doesn't matter. It's unfair already, but it's always on our side, the tipping of the scales. Sucks to be everyone else. Where are we in Avalon this week? The Isle of Avalon. Damn. This is this renewal feeling. It feels like, honestly, the mysteries of the new experience of where the dream, the Isle of Avalon. Not just Avalon, but the Isle, the vacation home. I spent a lot of good times there. I had to take Gwen there a bunch of times. You know what I mean? To get away from King Arthur. That's where I went.
Is that like the Makeout Hill?
Yeah, it's like Makeout Hill. You just say you're going there to check on things as a knight, like I got to go make sure the Isle of Avalon, we still got control of it, that there's no crazy weirdos. Yeah, no problem. Go check it out. Yeah, Gwen needs to go there and tan. Okay, got it.
Very nice.
Very nice. All right, what's up with the shadow? Downcast pride. Leo, stop downcasting your pride or letting other people downcasting your pride get in the way. You know who is the bomb diggity? It's you. You're on fire. It's just like an NBA Jam. He's on fire. Just where you're just shooting threes and it's just like, stop feeling bad about that. And stop having anything stop you from being who you are and expressing your intensity. The devil. I just said that, and I do feel like there is energy out there that could try and trap you here. At the same time, it also is a card to remind you how to express your passions, but also know the limits and the boundaries of where it's crossing into where you get stuck. So you don't want to get too ahead of yourself. And you also don't want to be owning pride. But at the same time, it does feel like you are going through a big transformation here. And if anything, I do feel like you are facing a lot of dark energy, but getting through it. Why? What is it with that? 10 of Swords, yep. The patterns are finally coming to an end. The devil is coming to its end. Not fully, but I feel like it's realizing, okay, I have beat the shit out of Leos and they didn't fucking confirm and stay. All right, but don't think for 1 second, because that energy's leaving, that it ain't going to try and smack you when you're at your most vulnerable state. Finally, Saturn's done opposing us. Shit. And Jupiter. You know, we got Pluto next. Neptune in the 9th. Well, talk about your beliefs of the pure spiritual path are great, but ones that self-undo, ones that are too not in reality, you got to let go of. So stop creating beliefs that are kind of hypochondriac crazy and get down to the brass tacks of where things are. You know, I think that this is a moment for you to also remove unclean belief systems. That's what's going on the 9th with Chiron anyway.
All right, Leo, 8th house action with Saturn. Kind of exciting, kind of scary. A little bit of a lot in the 8th. But this is, again, like a time to be vulnerable. It's a time to receive. It's a time to merge. This could be a time where you really do want to focus in and hone in on how you can really commit to what another person can bring to your life. You've done a lot of work with relationships. You've learned about the contracts. Now, what do you really want to commit to? How do you commit to passionate energy and merge with that? It is the house of taxes, death, sex, taxes. So it's kind of interesting. You know, it does bring up like all this kind of energy outside of you too. The 8th house gets wild because you don't have a ton of control there. It's where the things can kind of just come in and show you that you don't have all the power at the same time. You have to be vulnerable though and be open. So whether it's trusting another person or trusting that transformation and that good things and that the investment's going to come back with a good ROI is important. And you're going through a lesson where you get to grow into these aspects and you learn what to trust, what not to trust, who to commit to, who not to commit to. But this is a time to find that really beautiful energy that you can bond together with. You don't have to do it all alone in the 8th house, right? It's really where you become more powerful with something else in your life. Two powerful units, souls come together, they merge and make an even more powerful energy together. So definitely that kind of energy. Pay attention to just what can show up. You know, the universe tests us. It brings up our fears. It can try and take things. And sometimes that's the best thing for us, is to be vulnerable and let something go. Because if we grasp and hold on to something that's not good for us forever, it just kind of festers and gets worse and worse and worse. And we can get obsessive. So we have to also, with Saturn in the 8th house, pay attention to where we're obsessing over something. That's part of being vulnerable too, is to let things go, because you know that you're going to alchemize and attract things back to you. You're like a magnet right now. They work both ways, extreme attraction or repulsion. So it's important to remember that. And a full moon in your 2nd house. I mean, gosh, this is like really one of those times where as long as you're not doubting yourself, as long as you are confident that you're good, you will attract amazing energy to you that can be bonded and be a great return on investment. But again, you have to remember to invest in yourself too. You're not doing that deep soul work. You're not going to see the value of physical, reality show up either, or have someone else bring more of that value to you. So, yeah, that's what I got for you, Leo. Best of luck.
Remember that God invests 8th house Pisces into Leos to run the house of worship and be the king. But at the same time, all the power of God is channeled through Leo.
All the power of the circus.
That's true. I think for Leo, it's the last. Oh, I wanted to say this. With everything on the opposite side, you have to already have built something to have anything oppose you. So remember, now this is where you defend your boundaries. You don't give away too much. Don't take on too much debt. And remember that balance. You need to do, debt and taxes are part of how you create money too. But it is one of those moments where most signs are just building their fucking who they are. We've already built it. We've got it all up. We've done the 4th. We've done the 6th. We've done the 7th. We're now at the 8th. is where Saturn climbs to the 10th. So you waited your whole life for these times. They're fucking bomb. Just, you're going to have to know boundaries and know security and know when people are crossing the line and be like, yo, not only am I checking you, motherfucker, but God is. Remember, when a Leo throws a boundary, it's not Leo, it's God.
Yeah, I'll give you credit. Pisces as an 8th house is pretty cool.
It is. It's not that scary. It's only scary as if you don't believe in God. All right. I know Aquarius and Aries are like, or Aries is like, what the fuck? Scorpio. The last two here are, I know Aries, or no, we did Aries. So, oh, it's Libra this time, and it's the last two after this. And Capricorn. See?
We'll wait.
It's not rigged.
Very patient.
Very patient. Scorpio rising. I did one of the best horoscopes I did ever on High Vibe, if you're not on High Vibe, for the sun sign horoscopes for Scorpio risings. You guys have been through the most of any fucking zodiac. I know the Capricorns will say they have, but you already went through Pluto. You already went through Saturn. You already went through fucking all these fucking things. You've had Uranus oppose you. You've had fucking so much. You've had so much. It's extreme. You're really at one of the best times ever. And I think people are going to be liking Scorpios more than most other signs. So believe it or not, I know that you've always dealt with the one like, oh God, Scorpio. It's different. So remember that. The Saturn Pisces and the way that you've been doing your work, you're changing. You are going to be one of the ones we all love the most. Unfortunately, some other signs are not. So you're kind of replacing Sag. Everybody's going to be looking for you, the positive one. Sag is going to be like trying to survive in the water. All right. Oh shit, that's hilarious. All right,
the roles have changed.
The roles have changed. You know. All right, what's going on, Scorpio? I want one more flush. You did get the Angel of the Night deck, so it's weird. I haven't pulled that card in a long time, and it happened to come out for Aries, so maybe it'll pull out for you, another Mars ruled sign. You did get the Fool with the Death card. Damn. With the Five of Wands. Ooh. Ew. Well, I like that transformation that you're going through of who you are in this story. It's got its weird situations here. I think this card is really interesting. One guy's looking the other way. The girl's not happy. I think this is a moment where don't let the way that things are changing feel like this is an end-all be-all of it. Don't get stuck in so black and white this week. It's kind of weird they're parallel, especially in relationship situations, but there's always conflicts, but they can be worked out. Don't be a fool and think that it's so end-all be-all, because the Fool and the Death card are very similar in the start of a new, but Death card's the end. Fool card's the beginning. So it's one of those things where it feels like the beginning and the end and the conflict of all that, and that you're stuck in between it, and don't take it so extreme, and don't let it be too conflicted, or don't make it too difficult to understand. What's going on with your career life? Ooh, 8 of Swords in reversed. 2 of Pentacles upright. The Hangman. So it does feel like, part of this weird in-between place that you're at of new beginnings and endings is, I think the conflict is in your goals and your achievements and where you want to go. I think that at least in your head, you are not so stuck in some toxic place with it, but I also think that's the frustrating part. Things are slow, they're not moving, and I think that's a way for you to get a better understanding of how to balance all these things out. This is definitely a week of learning balance and knowing where you're at between cycles and knowing where you're at in life. I know you want to be happy instantly now, but it's not going to happen right away. You have to learn patience here, which will make you a better Scorpio, by the way. Love life, you did get the 9 of Swords reversed. You did get it with the Justice cards reversed, and you did get it with the King of Wands. I do feel like, remember, at the end of the day, commitment and staying on the path of happiness and being positive is everything. Things might feel unfair, although you got a 9 of Swords reversed with it. I do feel like They're worries about things that really, maybe you are worried about something that's actually not fair, even though you think something's unfair, you think something's out of balance, when it's not. Again, it's not so life or death situations right now. So hold the line of being a positive lover in any circumstance, wherever you're at in your love life. Stop feeling like you're being screwed, or again, you might be feeling that some crazy thing's happening when really it's not. It's nothing worth staying up at night for overthinking. Always come back to that solid energy. There's a lot of conflict that doesn't need to be so extreme. I think that you're understanding the beginnings and the endings of things, and that you're in that cycle. And when you have that understanding, you're fine. Your outcome this week, you did get the 2 of Swords reversed with the 7 of Swords reversed. Yeah, there's nothing shady, and more importantly, there's no crazy decision to make. Anything that might feel like, God, I need to make this huge decision this week because it's so... No. Nothing shady. Nothing is happening that's all wrong. Fucking know that you're in between the beginnings and the endings of a lot of different cycles right now. And you're learning patience with your happiness in your heart. And especially it's a full moon in Virgo. I know that you want to be in the world and have all these things and it all come together. But just relax. It's happening. You did get the sacred union. Focus on that. I mean, honestly, that's what you're here to focus on. You want that deep, intense, sacred union in life, and that's what to focus on. That's the most beautiful aspect. Have sex, for God's sake, instead of tripping on the other shit. Like, you know what I mean? Fuck. Oh, yeah, look at that. Anger and chains. You feel, don't let this be your shadow this week. I'm angry. I feel chained. Well, you should be feeling happy that you're chained to the bed. That, I can go into a lot of different ways you can be chained up, but, don't let this be this angry that you feel stuck when really there's no major things that need to change. If anything, just keep embracing the situations and not making conflicts of situations that don't need to be had. Your major arcana card for this week. You pulled 2, Hangman and the Hierophant. Yeah, I know you feel stuck, but stay with your faith, your beliefs, and where you're going, and the traditions you're currently making now that you're becoming more aware of, and more importantly, also the way that you're setting things up and showing up for things. And keep showing up to them. Don't back away. Don't make crazy choices. Stay understanding and aware of what's happening right now. Moon in the 2nd. I know that you want things to happen. Keep holding things together, and they'll happen. Don't start playing with change.
All right, Scorpio. Well, Saturn is coming into your 5th house. Saturn in the 4th is so much different than Saturn in the 5th. It's kind of like a coming out party. All that restructuring that you did within yourself, your emotions. Well, the 5th house is kind of like you really get to come out and show yourself. Show yourself, Scorpio. You don't want to hide right now. Be seen. Be creative. It's the house of love. It's the house of romance, happiness, joy. It's the sun's house. Saturn doesn't have that much power over the sun's house. So you might have to learn lessons about how to express yourself more, how to create more, how to live more happy or a more happy lifestyle. But that's probably just by expressing yourself and not holding back, especially if you're trying to create things that involve passion, which is your thing. If you don't love it, you're not passionate about it. And I think that's an important thing to remember. Go for the passion. Go for the love. Show yourself. Show the world what you want. The sun, like Mr. Leo over there, he doesn't turn it off. He just shines every day. This is your time to bring that energy out, but it takes like a dedication with Saturn. It takes effort. You might feel like you don't want to, but do it anyways. Be a full expression of self, because that's what's going to connect you to the world. And you have a full moon in your 11th house of Virgo. So it doesn't matter what other people think, right? You can get so emotionally worked up over what society's doing, what your friends are doing, what people are doing. Don't trip on what others are doing. Just be yourself. Do you. And you're going to find the best groups, the best people, the best relationships, the most passionate, loving life. So this is your time to really hone in on how to just be you and no holds bar you. Full self-expression.
That was well put, especially the expression part. You know, Pisces 5th house is weird because there's if you're expressing yourself and then it's not working, there's another place to go express yourself. Well, as Brian said, like today, for example, I have literally been in front of the camera since 4 something today. It's fucking 1. And I haven't had a break. But I love it. And I'm expressing myself the whole time. And you would think, you're too tired to do it. No, because you have to learn to, when there's a block in a certain area, there's another place to express yourself. There's another place to express your happiness. But I will say that it is weird because there is a responsibility to do that with Saturn. And Pisces is a spiritual responsibility for Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio, to be transparent. And that's what's hard is when Saturn's in the 5th house, it's the house of learning to bring life. You're so used to always bringing an end. Now it's about bringing life. Now, that might not be hard, but I'm just saying that you're wired a little differently. And, this is definitely a time to keep bringing life to things. And life takes a minute. Death does not. I can kill you in 1 minute, or not even. I can kill you in 1 second, right? But I can't create you in a minute. It takes 9 months, and it takes a lot pre, during, and even to have the birth. That's the difference. Is that death is easy and change is easy, but not bringing life to something. And that's where we're at with North Node Taurus.
Love is born from pain.
I don't know if it's pain.
And love is born from pain.
It's pretty pleasure at the beginning of the start of life. How much they loved
their child and how much pain childbirth was.
Well, if it's painful for the mother and the childbirth, yeah. I think for the man, it's more painful of like watching your beloved having to go
100%.
through that pain.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But then I think if it's pain that others feel while we come in, that means we don't feel pain going out. It's the pain of grief that others feel when we go out. I don't think there's pain with death, nor with birth. For our own self, if you think about it. Others feel it. That's Pluto, right? Other people, other outside situations, never your own. Pluto's not you. It's what you want or what the outside energy is. Not you. Who's it going to be here? It's Capricorn. Libra is going to be last. Cap risings. Well, we were just using what? Angel. Oh, well, you get the bougie cards. Libra rising's going to get Badass Tarot. The bourgeois. All right. Well, Capricorns, I know. Shit. You're not the dispositor anymore of Saturn, so kind of is weird having Pluto kind of stuck in here. Saturn, your third. Boy, there's a lot going up in that mind, isn't there? What's going to change? What's going to come to an end in the new beginning? What's going to happen? Where is my life going? There's a lot to figure out. Mars still in the 6th. Just put it this way. It is not set in stone, and that's okay, Capricorn. It's not set in stone at all. Pluto is still there. So there was no end-all be-all at this moment. And the suspense of that should tickle your pee-pee. All right. What's going on with Cap risings here? Well, we got the 3 swords reversed. That's a good sign. 7 of swords reversed. Hangman. Wow. That kind of feels like what I was saying. It kind of feels weird, I think, because I think that you're kind of in suspense. Nothing's really that bad or heartbreaking, but it also is also trying to understand what's on the horizon. Is something weird going to happen? You're having to pay attention to things. That is weird, though. It is definitely like trying to reread situations. I'll tell you one more. The Lovers. Well, definitely some love life shit. You do got Mars getting ready to come into Cancer soon. You got 5th house, North Node Uranus. So, well, I just think it's about, you're kind of in a suspended state trying to see what's about to happen and where your true happiness is. What's going on with your career? You got Knight of Pentacles. You did get that with the Empress reversed. And you got the 3 of Wands reversed. It feels like you're kind of moving in a direction, but you also don't know where that end result's going to be. So it kind of feels like you're not blind, but you don't know what's on the other side of the trail, and at least you're moving. But again, with the 3 of Wands reversed, the vision is really not either A, coming together, or you don't have it. I feel like it's more like you're going and you're not seeing it develop, and the Empress reverse is having you realize, well, maybe I need to re-examine if it's the ultimate best path for you. Whatever path that you're on, you're having to reevaluate a lot, especially with that Hangman there, the Lovers, and that 7 of Swords reversed and the 3 of Swords reversed. It almost maybe has felt like everything was all finalized, everything was all figured out. This is good. But I almost feel like you're doing reevaluations. Love life relationships, 2 of Swords reversed, Page of Cups, 2 of Cups reversed. Well, there's definitely a lot of emotions, and you want to keep them positive. But, there is no big decision, but there also is something about the emotional level not really seeing exactly eye to eye. And that doesn't mean it's a bad thing, Not all of us see eye to eye on everything emotionally. People think like, oh, God, 2 of Cups reversed is a bad thing. It's like, I like steak, maybe you don't. It's okay. That's 2 of Cups. Like, it's all right. Like, let's I think you're finding a balance between things. It's not some extreme choice or decision. I want to throw something else in there. You got the Devil card. Yeah, I do feel like it's like, you did pull Lovers with this shit. It's pretty extreme differences, if you notice. The two partners stuck to the devil, and then the 2 partners stuck to God. It almost kind of feels like you're dealing with black and white situations here, and that there's a lot of unknowns here with that 7 of Swords reversed and that 3 of Swords reversed here. It's almost like you're expecting something to happen, but it's not happening, and you're kind of waiting to see if something bad's going to happen. And I feel like in their love life, keeping it positive understanding of things, not going to the extremes, and also making sure that you're not stuck in anything that feels like you're trapped in any way. Your end result here for this week is the Hermit. You're definitely on a path of seeking the understanding and the temperance. This is a natural path. Things are kind of in a natural state. They're flowing, but they're not rushing. So, especially that Knight of Pentacles in the career, it's at least moving forward. Relationships, it's not as extreme as you think. Just making sure that you don't get stuck in any dark shadow shit, and then you're evaluating a lot. That Hermit there is definitely wanting to gain a lot of insight and knowledge and understand and that temperance is slow. So there's a lot of slow energy here trying to understand what the fuck's going on. Nothing's for sure yet, astrologically, and in your mind too. What's going on here in Avalon? Where are you at this week? You got Arian Hod. Sorry. Life direction, karma, fate. It does feel like that time. Where's the life direction going? Where's all this karmic fate going? I don't think you know exactly, and that's okay, but I think that that's the center of where you need to start focusing on here. Shadow, revenge. Again, this is not about being upset or trying to get revenge for things or getting attached to somebody else's revenge too. Right? Like you're a Capricorn. You're not here to be in business for like, what? You need revenge? I guess I could help you with that. Why would you pull that? That is the weirdest card. Well, you did get it with the Justice card reversed. Maybe you feel like something's unfair. Maybe something might be revealed about that. But I don't think the answer is revenge. What's going on with this major arcana that you got? You got Wheel of Fortune reversed. So yeah, it does feel like, again, I feel like there's so much pause with that Hangman, the Lovers, and the Seven of Swords and Three of Swords reversed. And that it's weird because it's looking at it like, it looks good, but I'm not sure it really is yet. I don't know if all the things are true yet. I don't know if it's going to be heartbreaking or not. Especially that Justice reversed and the Wheel of Fortune reversed. It's like, I'm trying to keep things in the hole. I don't want to see what's going to happen on the turn. But I'm still going towards it, but I don't want to fully kink it in. Don't be afraid to kink it in, see what happens. You did get the 11th house Neptune. Yeah, there's definitely a lot to pay attention to. But being compassionate with people and understanding people, but at the same time, you got to have a read on people right now, very big. All people in your life, and understand what's going on spiritually.
Capricorns, my fellow goats. All right. Hey, Saturn finally out of, both its ruling signs, which is your first and second, Capricorn and Aquarius. Now it's into your third. This is dealing with your mind. This is your subjective truth. This is going to put a little bit of pressure on you to speak up. You might want to suppress your voice, suppress your message, suppress maybe taking in new information, listening to others. You want to put effort in to have good dialogue. That involves listening, but it also involves speaking. But in the end, it's about taking in all the information, all the different sides, and being responsible about what the alchemy is from what you found. It's definitely very hermetic in the third, very mental. But that's where, you come to your subjective truths, and everybody has a subjective truth. So the more you can kind of banter, debate with people, talk, go back and forth, the more you might find what that is for you. And it's a time to focus in and hone in on that, but not by, either being one-sided, you being a preacher, or, you being preached to. You got to show up and put your information out there also and what you know. So it's a time to kind of focus in on what's going on with your mind. Maybe also Saturn can kind of calm it down. Maybe calming the mind is good, especially with Mars and that big retrograde in your sixth. It's time to kind of hone in on, the smaller things. Maybe not so much put all the effort into the big picture, but hone in on the little things so that you can come to that sense of truth that you can linearly understand. And of course, there's the full moon in your ninth, which I think, again, you might think you know everything. You might feel, I'm very confident that I know the answer, but you don't. So you kind of just have to go along for the ride and take in information as it comes. And that information over time here will build up a solid base for you to have the linear understanding of the message you're here to give, of what information you need to accumulate to expand your own knowledge. And it is a very intuitive place for that moon to be, but you can get so, what's the word I'm looking for? Dogmatic about certain beliefs at times. And this is not the time where you want to be super dogmatic about anything in life, any one way. There's going to be a bunch of different ways, and you might just find something you like in another way if you're open to it, but could bring up changes in your environments. You got to pay attention to what's close to you. That's where the information's at. That's where the conversation is at. Networking is important. Focus on those things, and you'll probably really enjoy this energy.
As somebody who has Saturn in the third, the lesson I learned through my Saturn return and the transit of it was the one thing that's the most true is what you avoid the most until you finally don't avoid it. And then finally, oh shit, that was all I had to do was the one thing I was avoiding of the truth. Third house always comes to the truth. So the environment of the situation, anxieties, it has to deal with the mind overlooking at every possibility to not face the challenge. Every way to not have to face it. So it's like, I'll figure it out another way. instead of what the problem might be and the answer and the solution, because there's always an answer in the third house, is what you don't want, Saturn. And especially because it'll lose something for the plan. But this is where the plan gets better by sometimes we have to let go of things we thought were going to be the best, but they're not. It's always the thing that we don't want to end or we don't want to look at. So don't be afraid to look at the truth. But you know what? You'll be on this transit for a while, so you'll remember this 3 years from now and be like, damn, I was there the whole time. That was a rough fucking lesson. Always is. Last one, Libra rising. Booyah! And you're getting the badass tarot, which is so not Libra. Should pull out some elegant Libra one with everyone that has a relationship on it. I actually have a deck in here that's all sex, like from Italy, but I think it'll be banned on YouTube.
It's nasty. Actually, I bought a sex deck at a swap meet.
You did?
In Joshua Tree.
Oh, nice.
$10.
Yeah, I have an Italian sex deck.
Are you really a tarot reader if you don't have one sex deck?
Yeah, that'd be weird. I feel like you have to kind of have every kind of deck. Although I'm not attached to deck.
No, I probably won't even use it, but I have it.
It's like, get a new one in. These don't feel good anymore. Get a new one in. And somebody has to buy them for you, like, you know. That's the old tradition. So that's why on this show I use all the ones that I didn't buy myself. Oh, shit. All right. What's going on here? Libra rising. You get one more flush here. To be fair, especially for you, Saturn in the 6th. In Pisces. Oh, it gets sloppy in reality and how to balance that out. You can't try and over control your reality. That's where you become a control freak and you can't be the judge anymore. It can't be fair. So if your schedule and all that sloppy, it's just about cleaning it up slowly instead of trying to fucking go fucking authoritarian on it. All right. You pulled the Hermit. 9 of Cups. 7 of Cups reversed. That's a great combo, actually. You're sitting at home watching Brazzers, watching the porn. No, I'm just kidding. You're at home and or energetically, you're really focused on your deep self. You're emotionally happy and you're really focused on what really fulfills you. And I think you need to stay on that and keep understanding what's coming out of that. Stay in that energy that you're filled up with what makes you feel happy and not seeking some outside thing to make you happy. And that you have to keep pondering what that is. Keep realizing you have all the good things inside of you. You have it all. The Hermit also is taking everything in, right? It's a very important card. It's the 9th card. It's one of those cards where it's like there's a lot of wrapping up to do. There's a lot of trying to understand, especially your reality right now. But even more so, there's a lot to just try and soak in. It's not like you're wondering what you want. You know exactly what you want in life. Keep getting more of that research. Keep getting more of that understanding. Career-wise, 3 of Wands reversed. 4 of Cups reversed. 6 of Cups. So, I know that it might feel like nothing's going the direction you thought it would. You don't know where it's going. This guy definitely wants her. It ain't happening. Right? You don't want to. I think this is where you're willing to disconnect from what you think that you've wanted and actually look at what you really want for your career. And by paying attention to a place that really is going to create a better environment, better memories. That 4 of Cups reverse, though, is like, where's that damn fucking gift at? Where's the moment where I can see it all? It's not that you're not satisfied and you have it. I feel like that there's still some seeking to do here, and that's okay. I think that you're still like pondering if, you're happy and content, I think, in your emotion, but I think when it comes to where it's all going for your career life, It's not really defined at this moment, and that's okay. Because remember, you want it to be just right and just good. And especially when Saturn comes in the 6th, you're going to start freaking out about your work and your schedule and how it all works. And relax. It's all going to work out. Your romantic life, you got Queen of Cups. Damn. Flowing with the emotions in a good way. You got 7 of Pentacles reversed. And the Temperance reversed. So remember, to have your emotions and to feel good, you need to put the work in to get the return, and the temperance needs to be natural. This is not a time to start to try and do unnatural things and hope that you'll get the feelings you want in relationships by not putting in the work yourself, not naturally, constantly putting it in. You know, the Queen of Cups in this card, she looks that way because she naturally looks that way. This is not a time to try and do, you know, fake that you're putting in work or fake that you're doing things or asking for emotions without you also doing the same investment too and getting the same return. But also at the same time, that Temperance reversed, it is one to where you can't be fake emotionally. You got to be real emotionally. You got to be honest emotionally, and not in the negative way, right? It's Queen of Cups. It's supportive. Are you being supportive? If you want support, you've got to be supportive, because that other side will be just as supportive back. So you got to pay attention to how that support's running emotionally. You can't be taking all the emotional support, or you can't be giving all the emotional support and not getting any of it back. Either way, it's having to balance itself out very intensely this week for you. Your Knight of Cups reversed and the Fool card reversed is your outcome. I feel that you feel stupid, especially if you're not emotionally moving forward and if you're feeling stuck and that makes you feel stupid, it's because you're not moving the emotions, not giving emotions, not allowing emotions to flow. Emotions need to flow. You can't just be focused on what makes you feel good. You have to be feeling good and flowing the emotion. I feel like definitely Saturn in the 6th can also be where, especially in Pisces, like Libra, stop the emotional flow. Like, stop the river. Stop stopping the river. You can't stop the ocean. You got to keep it overflowing, and that's actually how you'll get it all work out the way it's supposed to. That's what's weird. 6th house actually figures itself out in the weirdest ways for Libra. It's not because they were on point. Every Libra becomes a lawyer, right? Every Libra becomes like somebody where they, oh yeah, I can figure this out and I've got control of it. And it's like, no, actually, it just kind of happens. The evidence shows up, you know. So I think that for you, not being stuck emotionally and stuck on stupid or feeling stupid, because that's not flowing. You're going to have to learn to turn the water. Libra has to keep realizing that it needs the emotional understanding to keep flowing in the reality. It needs to intuitively keep flowing. If it stops flowing, then nothing can be gauged correctly. 6 houses are gauge. Are we out of gas? Are we not? Are we this? Are we that? But when you're not moving emotionally, you're not. And that's the issue. All this energy in Aries is kind of like, you know, you can focus on yourself and you can focus on relationships and the identity of stuff, but it's about, in your reality, there's a lot here about learning flow, letting the juices flow, letting the water flow, to let things move. Without it, you're like a gear, because you're an object. Remember that. You're not an actual anything. You're just an object. So, you know, it's kind of like Tin Man. You got to keep gear lube. That's what keeps it flowing. You think it's all these other things, but you don't realize you're not. When you stop emotion, Libra, that is your worst trait, right? You can't get your career. You can't get your work without emotion. When you're not emotionally flowing in the right direction, or you're not expressing your emotional shit, where are you in Avalon this week? You got Minway. All right. She does feel a little alone, but she's ready for the opportunities finally. It's a place of respect, right? She respects the magic, but she's also in a place where her self-esteem has to come. I think that your self-esteem has to come back here, connect to your self-esteem, but it's not like going out like a tiger. Rah! You know, and I think that, remember that there's opportunities here, but it's opportunities that you respect in yourself, and you have to give yourself opportunities, and that's only through the respect that you have of the powers that be. Where are you at with your shadow? Artificial heart, and that goes with that Queen of Cups here on the same line here with the Temperance reverse and 7 of Pentacles. It's like Don't expect to be taken care of if you don't bring the emotion back and bring out a artificial heart and be cold. You can't be cold-hearted. That's going to be your worst trait this week. Especially you'd feel stupid. You don't want emotions to be stuck in the wrong place. You got to bring emotion out. You don't want to be cold-hearted. You don't want to be a robot emotionally. You got the strength card. You got the strength to make it through. This is definitely a time for you to focus on that strength and not be afraid. And remember that this is a moment for you to understand that everything circles back in reality of the infinity to us. Your courage, somebody else's courage comes to you. Your self-esteem, their self-esteem will come back to you. Your care and emotion will come back to you. But it's the other way around. If they're putting it back to you and you're not bringing it back, then they won't. That's fair, right? No Libra can fucking try and throw me in court and say that I'm wrong about that. You're going to be tested on your own reality of fairness. You did get the 6th house. How funny. And you got it with Jupiter. Yeah, this is you realizing there's a bigger understanding besides your own way of how you think reality should work. It's way wider and beyond you've ever known.
All right, Libra. Yeah, all that, all that he mentioned about Saturn in the 6th, it's very much that. But it's the effort that you put into your day-to-day life that gives you the return. It gives you the harvest that you're looking for. It brings things into alignment. It can be humbling at times. Saturn in the 6th can bring up stress, can bring up anxieties, overworking. There's a fine line. And I think that's where that's where you have to come into balance with a lot of things here. You have to put the effort into your reality to make it magical, to make it a dream, to make it special. But you can't control everything either. So things are just going to have to be cleaned up. Things are going to have to be changed. It's a good time to focus on what kind of a routine would you like to have in your life that you do want to dedicate to, that does have long-term potential, instead of maybe just being so in the flow that you're not actually in reality. There's a full moon in your 12th house. I think this is very interesting. It's almost like, too, you can hyper-fixate or focus on how perfect things need to look. It's an imperfect universe. Perfection comes for moments at a time. And then we got to clean it up and make things perfect again. So there's no such thing as just perfect forever, even if that's the dream or the ideal. Saturn kind of brings like a coldness to your 6th house in Pisces of like, you just got to keep putting effort in to making things, whatever you're defining as some kind of a perfect moment or perfect habit or perfect routine to your schedule every day, or how you understand information. And a lot of that too is, it can be very humbling because you can hold a lot of guilt deep in your psyche, deep in your emotions, in your subconscious. These things have to get worked through by a process. It takes time. So this is definitely a moment to realize perfection really only exists momentarily. Don't stress over things. You do have to show up. You do have to work. You do have to create some kind of a routine that keeps you grounded. But it also is working towards a vision. It's also working towards an emotional goal of some sort that is the harvest that you're looking for, that's going to help even the scales in your life. So it's time to focus on what you can do to either, both. What you can do to help yourself be better, but what you can also, bring to others, and, what kind of service you can provide by doing that deep emotional and subconscious work on yourself to tidy up things. Even though you might think they're all tidy and clean and perfect, this is where you're going to see that they actually weren't. And you do have to move things around to get things in better alignment, because that's always changing, just like perfection.
Yeah, Libra is the opposite of everybody, right? So everything's flipped. So 6th house, I want to get my schedule. You have to learn to let go. That's the opposite of fucking Aries, which 6th house is like, no, you got to fucking change things and move it around. Pisces is the second you surrender to the stress, it'll balance itself out and find the way. If you're so tyrant, I got to figure this out as a Libra, and I got to change, because Libras are actually the ones that are always so on point, and that's their problem. Have you ever noticed a Libra in school? Oh my God, I got to do the homework. I got to do this. 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 That's going to bring me my balance and harmony. No. It's always the moment when you're watching the sunset and you say, fuck it. And then how it naturally will work out for you. You'll get tired enough and you'll fall asleep and you're like, wait, I was supposed to go to bed at this time. But by me letting go, I actually went to bed the time I was actually supposed to and I wasn't able to before. Yeah, because you let go. The craziness of a Libra is a Libra who's psychotic in how they think life is perfect. So your way now is being challenged. Like, it needs to look this way. It needs to look that way. And it needs to be this way. It's when you let go of that and you realize it's psycho how you're thinking of it to be, that it's more of like a placebo effect. Right? Like, if I take this pill, I'll feel better. It's just a sugar pill. No. This is the pill of the perfect life. It's like, no, it's not. So the psychoticness of reality is when Libra is not balanced and not learning to chill and let things happen. And that's how balance and harmony comes. It's not through action. Yeah, you're the luckiest sign, but I know it feels reversed of everybody else because everybody else is the crazy ones. If your reality is the 12th house, then you can be living in a crazy fucking reality by trying to do it like everybody else does. You're not here to love the way everybody else does. You're not here to do reality the way that everybody else does. So let go of that and you'll be much better, especially 9th house Gemini, right? Like you're not here to believe the same beliefs. You're not here to go on the same journeys. A Libra too far away from home is one that gets swooped up. And then we have to call fucking, what was that movie called? Fucking, with fucking, what's his name? Fucking, Taken. Libras are always the one that get taken in the wrong place. You go travel too far with 9th house Gemini. You have much more of an adventure in understanding your reality and your environment. A judge can't leave the court for too long. Neither can a diplomat, which you are. A diplomat can go to a specific place and then come right back. Not supposed to go, well, King, I went to this country after I talked to that diplomat and I went to that one. What are you doing? You just missed out. They sent the page and you missed it. Oh, I'm sorry. I was supposed to be complicated, but not. Stop making it so complicated. Let go of the complication instead of trying to figure out the complication. You're going to be much better or you're going to go into psychosis. Libra. I think that's time for after or overtime.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What do you got?
Well, we've been talking so much about the space between spaces. We've been talking about this. And this is the ultimate space between spaces because Saturn now is in Pisces, but Pluto's still in Capricorn. But about to come into Aquarius, which we just did so much fucking Aquarius that there's only a 2-week moment here where there's no Aquarius.
Lucifer.
Right? So I feel like it's the moment for us to have our understanding of what to prepare for the most. Would you agree?
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird. And then the weirdest sign, right? Aquarius is open for that 2 weeks before it gets a taste of Pluto. Because remember, Saturn's not coming back. Saturn's done. So Pluto's going to dip his toes in, see what the water bear feels like, and dip back into Capricorn. Not even for the final time. It's going to do that one more time next year. So, yeah, it's weird. It's in between. We're like getting little bits and pieces kind of quantumly dropped to us in weird ways. And it's going to be interesting from really like, it's 2 a.m. on the West Coast. So, we have 2 hours and 40 minutes. Or no, we have 3 hours.
3 hours and 30, yeah.
And 30 minutes until Saturn comes into Pisces and it'll be vacant. And we haven't had a vacant Aquarius in a very long time.
No.
So.
A long time.
So.
Decades.
I think it'll be nice though. It's going to warm things up because Aquarius is cold and I don't know. It can be very detached. So I think that these next couple weeks actually might be very nice. We might get There's a lot of fire in the chart. There's a lot of water. There's, not that much grounding us, Uranus, North Node, Pluto, but at the same time, maybe we don't need to be super grounded right now. Maybe we do need to be more ethereal, more in our hearts. Let things flow, let things just come, let the wind blow to us, whatever needs to be acknowledged in this moment instead of trying to figure out the quantum entanglement that we're all a part of.
Yeah, and I think Jupiter semi-square Saturn, which both met in Aquarius at 0 degree, where Pluto's about to come in the 2 weeks that we're in. So it's like, it's a nice break, but it's also not a break. It's like, what were you doing December 21st, 2020? Because that Pluto is going to uncover that spot big and also launch that Jupiter Saturn big. And it's like, that's what I think is weird, is Jupiter in Aries, but Saturn in Pisces is saying, hold up, ego. And that's what might be, I think, where the grounding might help with the North Node and Taurus is we want to understand the values and not just jump without realizing, Jupiter and Saturn are in semi-squared, saying, expand a little, but not too much. Keep the hose kink. Don't put it on full blast because there's no fucking hose bib and it might just fucking start, and especially this is a moment with Pluto at 29 Capricorn to stay on the path that's the best for you in the long, long term and not think that it's already been found or it's changed. Even though Saturn, right? So Pluto is in Capricorn and the dispositor is in Pisces. So that's going to be a very big test. Because even like, if you think about it, Pluto is like, okay, I'm in Capricorn. And now the dispositor is in Pisces. So it's like, well, maybe I'll give up. I'm right before the end of the hill. I'm going to give up. So it's one of those moments to where I think it's enjoy the moment, pay attention, be an observer, but I wouldn't make any big new choices without knowing the stench, which could smell good or not, the feeling, the oddness that's coming in, that's going to change the way we feel in 2 weeks alone. So it's one of those moments where it's like, it's a 2-week window of, okay, it could be this, but I wouldn't gamble on it. And I also wouldn't, it's going to be weird because Pluto does, retrograde back into Capricorn this year. So Aquarius is going to be empty multiple times this year too, with Saturn and Pisces. This is the first moment of that to understand there's going to be more moments like this. And I think it's the whole year into next year by November of 2024 that all these periods when Saturn's in Pisces and Pluto's in Capricorn, that's going to take some time to figure out what it means, opposed to I know it now and I'm going with it and I'm fucking taking a huge gamble because, Pluto wants to invest on a fuck it, all on red, all on fucking, black, or all on green. And the roulette wheel you think is going your way. And then, nope, beep, beep. There's too many unpredictable things that are going to come on the other side. And I think it's a moment for us to use our intuition and use that understanding that we don't want to fucking get off the trail that Pluto is starting to believe right before the finish line. And that's going to be the hard part with Pluto retrograding back into Capricorn with Saturn and Pisces all the time is the dispositor has changed signs into Pisces. And then Saturn is no longer, when it looks at it's a dispositor, it's like, well, shit, fucking, I'm in fucking Neptune's world now. I'm not in my own home. So, this is easy to self-undo at this time and think it's the bomb. When really, Pluto's going to come into Aquarius, and then that changes it to Uranus and Taurus and be like, were you building for the future and connecting, or were you fucking lost in some neurotic, psychotic thing that I'm here to disrupt?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that the focus is shifting to a more spiritual groundedness. There's almost been a hyper focus. I keep saying that word tonight, like hyper fixation, but there has been on this future. It's like we, your Aquarius, Uranus energy gets us like, ooh, the future. And a lot of the times that sort of premonition type energy comes to fruition, but not always in the time that you think it will. And now Saturn's out of time, if you will, in Pisces, the planet of time. So it's almost like just be here. Just find security in where you're at now without doing some radical, because I think of the South Node in Scorpio at the same time. Like, do we really need to go for some intense dopamine hit of some radical destruction in our lives? Or are we just meant to really chill? And I don't mean like chill, like not do anything, but just let the universe bring, be receptive. Water's very receptive, right? So we have to be receptive to what's trying to take us to the next step without thinking that we just intellectually know it. Mars is still in shadow. It's square Neptune. We don't know shit. Jupiter's semi-square Saturn. Jupiter's with Chiron. The more we think we just know and we're so invested in what our ego thinks it knows, the less we're paying attention to our soul, the less receptive we are, and the more we're just trying to, cause some kind of destruction, just almost cause it. When I think that, maybe there is already a plan set that we did see a future for, but maybe that future isn't meant to just happen right when we want it. So that's also a full moon in Virgo, right? How, gotta have the perfect time and situation for this to happen in my reality. It's just not that. I suppose is where I'm at with it right now.
Yeah, and I think you're right. It's like there's a chill, but not a chill, because it reminds me of being on an iceberg and then thinking it's safe and secure with Saturn there, but starts breaking apart, and it's an icebreaker, like the game Icebreaker. You chill too long, it's too sloppy. Like there's there's like really a big cleanup happening, which that's the weird part, which it's so backdated and backlogged that we have to start paying attention to subconscious things that are backlogged super far back. I mean, it's been 500 years since we had Saturn, Neptune, and Pisces together. Exactly 500 years. So it's one of those things to where, like, I think you said it good. Like, whatever, with Chiron, Jupiter, and Aries, semi-square Saturn, there's definitely, like, don't believe that you think you know it, that you've identified it, and that's what it is, and you're going all the way. Be prepared for allowing yourself to understand, well, how would I fuck this up and self-sabotage it? Am I self-sabotaging myself by believing in something? It's going to put a lot of situations that have been hidden and that we haven't looked at and realize they're sloppy. Saturn in Pisces is psychedelic in many ways. It looks like a bedroom after you did like 8 fucking doses of fucking, acid for like 2 days straight. That's Saturn in Pisces. Where you're like, what? It looks like, if you ever watched fucking, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, it looks like their hotel room. That's Saturn in Pisces with Neptune in Pisces. And then Mercury's in Pisces, which for this 2 weeks, ironically, it's in there. And it's going to conjunct with Neptune. It's going to have that, it's going to conjunct the sun. It's going to be fucking on the other side of Earth. And we ain't able to see what we need to be like paying attention to. I think what we can't see. Aquarius isn't here to help us have a satellite view. We lose the satellite. And then also I think it's going to be a really subconscious moment here of like, were we doing this to please other people, or doing this to do it for society or other people, or what, or what I was relying on the other person about, It's going to bring up all that shit. It's going to bring up a lot of weird shit. I see people in the chat being like, when are tough times going away? Remember, the times will never be like they were ever again. So what you think is positive in the past and now you think is negative, maybe negative is positive now. Maybe you have to find a way to find positive in this new energy. It's not ever going back to what your idealistic understanding of joy and positivity is. You have to learn to adapt, which is the hardest sign. Mutable water, adapt. Pisces. You have to learn to adapt to the world. And adaptation is by your subconscious tendency of wanting to hold on to the past. No, I want it to look like the past looked. In the past, it used to look this way. It used to feel this way. So I'm going to make my life feel this way. Also programmed. Well, this is the best thing to do because this is what feels the right way to do. No. It also felt good for a Roman to kill Jesus on the cross.
I think on like a bright side, it is a time for us to all mature spiritually, right? But that, comes with putting effort into letting the divine steer the ship. We kind of have to take our hands off the wheel at moments to see where things are going and to have faith. We can almost be afraid of our faith and our surrender with Saturn here, but that's really what you need to do. Every time you get to that moment where you want to get so focused and it has to be this way and this isn't what I wanted it to look like this, and we go into these nostalgic moments, we're taking ourselves away from this natural flow. And it takes like that spiritual maturity to have that strong faith so that you can let go and let God take the wheel, steer it to where it needs to go. It's going to go where it needs to go. It just feels like, there's these karmic lessons that we get looped into. And if you have that spiritual maturity, which we'll learn throughout the next 3 years, more and more, all of us, we'll be able to listen to that and not ignore that calling because of some societal distraction or some kind of a program that we've all had to deal with. This is like trying to, God's trying to say, break the programs. There's infinite ways to commit yourself, to create, but we have to also commit to taking such a strict judgment of every little thing out of the equation too. So it is a mixed bag, but the spiritual maturity that I think the collective will go through, or not everybody, but a lot of people, some people are going to go into deep 12th house where, you don't want to go. Very mental anxiety energy, if you will, lost, delusional, schizophrenic, all these different things. But many will really listen to that inner authority that's trying to say, hey, you need to change this. You need to adapt to this. And I think when we do and we step up and we step up to that plate when that calling comes, I think we have a ton of support and everything's going to be fine, Sure, the world's going to look weird. I have no doubt that we see some of the weirdest shit we've ever seen with Saturn in Pisces. And even meeting with Neptune and coming into Aries at the end of the transit, but we're just getting started. But that doesn't mean it can't be beautiful. It's just, is it going to be the dream that you dreamt up this dream? Is that what it's going to be? Or is it going to be what God decided is the dream that you're going to live out? And can you be open and receptive to that without beating your head up against a wall because it's not what you wanted?
Yeah. I mean, if you think about Pisces, it deals with separation in order to get to connection, especially with Neptune and Pisces. And in 1523, it was everything from banning heretics from assembling in Holland. It was also the anti-French treaties that were signed in England with the Emperor Charles I, which was English occupying France and trying to say that let's start this anti-French energy. Let's start this. If you're a heretic and you believe in anything but the Christian Catholic version of Jesus, you're a heretic and you're not allowed to assemble. So it creates extremes of separation. And I think that's what's funny about Aquarius, right? You feel like, we're together. And then Pisces comes and it's like, either you do the spiritual thing and stay with that, or you fall into your subconscious and, but you know what? Yeah, fuck that. I'm over that, and start to fall into the, it's addictions, it's loops, it's patterns. And so, it's just festering now with subconscious choices that you've made that you're going to have to face that are not easy to face. And it creates people becoming weak by holding on the line of their subconscious bullshit. Like, nah, I'm going to keep doubling down because I want to make it work.
Yeah, and then we turn into a martyr over that situation.
Yeah. It reminds me of like being in a horrible place in your life and thinking, well, I'm also a drug addict. I'm just going to keep doing drugs and it'll eventually turn good.
I made my bed. I'll just lay in it.
Yeah, it's like learning to be like, I am not, these are choices that are going to be filled with regrets for some. And we have to remember that they teach us lessons. So, but I think, at the end of the day, it's Aquarius is biggest lesson laid tracks, laid Jupiter, laid all these huge conjunctions. And even the biggest stellium we ever saw back in the 60s. Here comes Pluto. So, I don't think we understand humanity. I don't think we understand people. I don't think we understand what the real connecting points are. And I feel like the separation of events that are about to happen in Saturn, Neptune, and Pisces are going to create a global catastrophe. And they're going to create people having to find how to connect in the most hardest ways, because it's the only way for humanity to find itself and to prepare for that over the next 2 weeks.
Very possible. But will that suck? That's what I wonder.
Well, yeah,
I guess it's all perspective.
Yeah, it's perspective, right? For most people, when the mailman stops coming, you're like, well, I don't really care about the mail. It's like, well, when the Amazon trucks stop driving to you, and when the systems are not going to collapse, let's just say the systems are going to be sloppy to the point to where they're so sloppy they don't run efficiently. So your reliance right now on your doubling down and your subconscious tendency will be here to remove in your life what's not good for you. So you're like, God, I rely on this, even though maybe it's not good. That system's falling apart in a way of becoming sloppy. And you could keep doubling down to try and, okay, I'm fucking navigating it. I'm swishing through this. I'm swishing through that. And fuck. And that's where we start flying into that weird abyss. Pisces is the abyss to where we get too wide. We get too lost. We get too visionary. Saturn's here to say, okay, the vision's great, but can it become real? And the reality check on the vision. So dreams are wonderful, but if you don't know how to master your dreams,
yeah, you gotta come back to reality.
Yeah, especially like drugs. Like, let's be real. Are they even drugs anymore? You know what I mean? They're not the same. The fact that Canada just allowed, just this last week, the government is allowing this one company for other doctors in other places to produce cocaine, to produce pretty much every drug, ecstasy, all that, right? Like, it's almost like they're getting ready to try and putting out drugs into the populace to just, they're not watching TV anymore. They're not watching this anymore, to let them have everything that stoops them down, but also in a weird way might make them up. But are you sure that the government would actually give you the real shit? So we're going to have to pay attention to what looks too good to be true and realize it's not, right? You have to be willing to be okay with, this is good, but it's not too good to be true fully. And like, let me know, because there's no detachment that can help. It's much more about 12th house shit removing oneself through accepting what it is. Like, okay, like I have to let go, and it's a process of, you know, like a breakup, right? It's not like, I'm out, bye. It's like, fuck, I got to go through the emotional shit. I got to go through this. I got to move out. I got to do that. I got to do this. I got to do that. It's not easy. But the faster that you deal with it, but it's not a fast thing. Everything now about removing oneself from something is not fast. It's not as easy. So everything starts to kind of get sloppy.
I don't have the dates on this, but I'm pretty sure the MK Ultra experiments in the beginning came out with Saturn and Pisces. Do you know when those started? Was that late 60s?
Yeah, that was the time when LSD actually was being used, even though it was discovered by Alfred Hoffman and created in the late 30s into the early 40s. It was not used, not only, of course, Timothy Leary, who brought it out as being the head of psychiatry and psychology at Harvard, but it was also the CIA that was quite new and developed. Like, it wasn't like an old system, but that was Saturn and Pisces with Pluto and Uranus in opposition and Virgo. So it was also how to crowd control. And also the first test they did on MK Ultra, believe it or not, before they created MK Ultra, was they took acid in the sky and they took a bunch of troops and they sprinkled it in the clouds and they dropped acid on people.
Right. Nobody fought.
And nobody fought, and they started playing with flowers. Some people had panic attacks, whatever. But it totally disrupted the whole entire people.
Yeah.
But you have to remember, with all the warfare going on, Saturn and Neptune is what you can't see, right? It's what's creeping up behind you. Like the balloon was kind of like a weird thing, but that's very Aquarian, the way that it's like, you know, Pisces is what you don't see. It's what you're being programmed into, what you're being kind of fed into, you know, again, and I think religion's going to be the page that's delivering the war message, and it's becoming a religious war. And it's also going to be based upon end times and the end, the revelations, the Antichrist, the and every religion, the third temple, the fucking Allah's returning, and you're going to paradise or you're going not. And really, it's purgatory. You know, people getting trapped into places and also waiting for the Savior. Instead of realizing it's not about saving yourself, it's the connection you have with the divine and God yourself. Like, it's not about, you're not saved unless you have a connection. And it's not that you get saved, it's just that connection is there. It's like the idea that you need to be saved,
right,
is the biggest, like, Piscean trap of all time. Like, it's quicksand too. One of the weirdest things about quicksand is you don't move. You let it go, but you need somebody to come to kind of pull you out. If you move around, you sink quick. So in Pisces, it's where we all feel like we're in quicksand, especially Saturn, Neptune, right? It's like, I want control, but if you try and have too much control and you move around, you're going to go, then you don't have a straw on you probably to survive with air. So you don't want to try and control everything, and you don't want to try and everything's going to be to where, especially because, geez, this full moon's coming in and Virgo with it, and the fact that this is all opposing Virgo, reality, schedules, timing, perfection, workability, systems working with Pluto and Capricorn leaving, all getting thrown up in the air. The bicycle chains breaking, the factory breaks, the fucking oil spills more, the toxicity becomes more extreme. It's where there's gaps in the system that are the last gap nobody wants to deal with. It's that bag of trash you haven't taken out that's been in your closet for fucking 3 years. That's just not food, but, you know, bunch of weird shit because you got a little lazy, you were going to overdo it, and you threw it in the corner and it looks good. It's all that shit coming up. It's all your emotional repressed issues, like that you've repressed, that you've suppressed so deeply and you're aware of, and then you forgot, so it's repressed now. And it's like, well, that's why I'm in this moment in my life, because I never dealt with this. So you don't want to make decisions based off those that you haven't faced. You got to face it before you can make the choice and make sure that you get through. Because Saturn and Neptune won't meet in Pisces, they're meeting in Aries. So that's the trippiest part. They won't meet here in Pisces. They're going to chase each other. The Saturn's going to chase it down and then come into its fall position in Aries and Neptune and talk about civil war that happened with Saturn, right? Not being in Aries, but it was Neptune. But now, holy shit, the redefining of this universe has to have 3 years of backlog of suppressed shit and repressed shit and everybody's spiritual idea. I used examples tonight like, geez, people are like, oh yeah, I'm spiritual because I'm doing something in Bali. It's like, well, they're banning people from having sex based off religious aspects. You really are spiritual by having people have to be like, I can't express myself a certain way? Or, you know, you're seeing it on the right and the left, both use witchcraft and all that shit as spirituality is witchcraft now. And religious orders are becoming extreme and people are becoming religiously extreme. And it doesn't matter what side of the aisle they're on. They're all tripping out and they all believe the book is telling them what to do, even though Constantine fucking is the one who just wanted to just not do what his mom did, which was paganism. So anything pagan is pagan and it's bad. And the Jews had problems with Rome. So guess what? All the things that were Roman, like Zeus is the loincloth that he wears, that Zeus wears, is the Antichrist, right? Mm. But you'll never think of it from the other side. We never hear about that because our Western tradition's been all Judeo-Christian based. So it's like, okay, the Romans are telling the Jews to do this. They were out of a bunch of power and control, but we don't hear what the Jews were doing on the other side, right? And I'm not talking about the Jews of today. We're talking about the original, right, place where Jews were, right? They weren't following the pagan gods, right? So they felt like there was an atrocity to them there. Right. And so like they write in all their stories that, you know, anything that's Zeus is the return of, if you were to really think of it, just the return of paganism would be the return of the Rome that would make us all bad. But it's like, they don't really understand all that. We never get to hear the other side. What were they doing to the fucking Romans, you know? And of course, it makes Rome and paganism look so bad because Jesus died on the cross by Romans and da-da-da-da. But you never hear the other side. You never hear the other things. You never see the good things, and anything attached to it is bad. Which, of course, it is the fucking pharaohs in Egypt that Rome, Cleopatra's the last one, the last pharaoh. She marries into Rome. Boom. Egypt becomes Rome. They take so much of that understanding. And so there's so much integration in all the religions and all the aspects. But everybody's going to be all secular and be like, no, this is the version. Anybody telling you, you have to do it this way, Jesus is that, they're on fucking crack because they've never done the research. They don't even understand the history and they only take it from one point of view and they can't see the other side. Pisces gets lost in underwater or above and you need to do both. You need to be in unconscious and conscious moments constantly to understand the whole picture. And so you have to be honest with yourself and be like, when I'm feeling off or something's feeling weird, okay, let me be aware of it instead of I'll push it under the rug and it'll be okay. That's the scary part is, it'll be all right. It's like, no, it won't. You're already in the quicksand. You know?
Yeah, it's we don't want to be too naive.
Oh yeah, I would say naive at all, because naive is a drug that's going to be fucking popped out everywhere. Oh, you're fine. Everything's fine. Aquarius is choosing you to learn the people who call you out on your shit, not, oh yeah, let me let you be naive and watch it happen. So our way forward is Jupiter, Saturn, in Aquarius, and that's what Pluto's going to activate. So it's a big thing, and it's a deep understanding of how to really make it through this understanding in life, you know, and it's where Saturn's going to get really lost here. Neptune's ruling, and we got really lost in the 1523. That was when Henry VIII at the same time was like, you know what? I shouldn't have married my fucking brother's ex-wife when he died. And I only did it when my dad died in 1509. I want an annulment now, but the church won't let me. These are the situations people are going to be like, what the fuck did I do? And I can't get out? Shit. Well, I guess I got to let go of the whole church and I got to start my own in order to fucking marry who I want to. And that took 10 years for him. So. Coming into this, you better know what the fuck you're coming into. Because it's not an easy out. There's no more easy outs in this reality. That's gone. Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. There is no exit. There's no emergency exits. And it's going to feel like we're all trapped. Don't forget that. We're going to feel trapped. Not a lot of exits, not a lot of options, not a lot of travel, not a lot of this. It's going to get too sloppy. They're not even making new planes anymore unless they're military. They stopped making planes. There's no more Airbuses being made. There's no more Boeings being made. Right? They want to go to green energy. Where's the system in life that you thought was from before the last 6 years? Because that was a long Saturn Pluto that just ended. And now it's the beginning to see what they set in motion. Those plans are going into motion, whether we like it or not. I'm not saying they're going to not fail, but they're definitely going to be implemented, and we're going to have to walk, there's going to be a trap feeling for a long time. We're not getting out of the trap. So, financially wise, I think it's crazy. In the next 2 weeks, especially this week, the Fed's raising the rates, and they're talking about now, all the news in the last 2 days has been Feds better raise it higher and they better hold it and they better do it the highest they've ever done or we're all fucked or we're going to have a 1933 situation. So they are going to pummel the economy on purpose and to bring prices down. And are you prepared? This is such a Pisces moment. I wasn't thinking it would go this way. I mean, I thought I had more time. And Aquarius is like, what do you mean? I showed you all the fucking dots. Like you didn't put it together. So. Boy, oh boy, it's going to be nuts, especially with these eclipses.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the lunar eclipse in Scorpio is the one. I was watching this weekend. I had like a little bit of insomnia last night, couldn't sleep. And I was on HBO Go, and The Weeknd had put out Live in LA on HBO Go. And I was like, I got to see what was going on with this. I know there's going to be something here. There was some foreshadowing going on. I just know it. So I turn it on, and sure enough, the intro to it starts out, and it's like this destroyed city. And his whole backdrop on that set was like a destroyed city, from whatever it was, war. I don't know, but, city's just kind of torn down. But the crazy part was there was this moon opposite the stage, this giant moon prop. And it was pretty much glowing red, majority of that show. Every now and then when the whole, set colors would change, it would go to a different color, but it was red 90% of the time, which I thought was very interesting because it was a full moon and it was a red blood moon. And I feel like there was some foreshadowing, and where they dropped that, how they just put that out for the public, there's foreshadowing for the solar eclipse. Oh, I'm sorry, I keep saying solar. The lunar eclipse in Scorpio that will be, that's just where something crazy is about to go down. And you were talking about the coronation, of course. It's going down on that lunar eclipse. And yeah.
Don't watch it.
Don't watch what?
The coronation.
Oh, I won't.
It's a spell that they're going to do on the world. Like The Weeknd does his spells.
Yeah, 100%.
But this is the real deal, because you have to realize that now the Prince Charles of Wales is now the King Charles III, right? And what's interesting is his lines go to like every fucking line. It's really crazy. But the most important part is that we've never seen an anointing public that they're going to put on TV, and he's going to be in military uniform. Hitler always wore a military uniform. You know who's in control of all of the UN Security Council and all their fucking shit, right? And who's been dealing with all these different shit around the world. He's even been called the savior, right? Is Charles. Charles has been in everything. He's been at all the G20s. He's always the first speaker. He's been at this. He's been at that. They've been setting this fool up forever. Don't watch it because they're going to literally anoint in non-sacred way this military power to him. And I wouldn't be surprised if the craziness of the EU, if it decides to join the English monarch. The people are thinking, look, at Brexit was so bad. You're going to see the EU be like, God, we want to be part of the monarchy. I'm not saying that's going to happen right away, but I'm saying that that's what it's leading towards, and the way they've been pumping the fucking monarchy to people. Reliance on the monarchy, the war, the Ukraine shit. Like, people don't realize this shit's going to get fucking weird. So, don't watch it. That's like the one thing. It's like, if the Ark of the Covenant opens up, right? You don't look at it like Indiana Jones said. Your soul will be taken. The same way they're trying to do that with Charles and his thing. So don't watch it. Don't look at it ever. It's the most horrible moment that's ever going to happen in reality spiritually. They're going to do a fucking spell physically with the crown and the anointing process in a military uniform. So, if you don't want to die in that war, I wouldn't watch it. By just being a bystander or however, you know what I mean? Like, you don't realize the depth of all this shit. And, we're going to feel like we have no way out. That's Saturn and Neptune and Pisces. But there is a way out, and it's patience, and it's trust in the divine, and it's going to look so crazy and sloppy, and you're going to have to find ways to really be like, did I make smart choices coming into these times? Did I really make the smartest choice? Do I know how to provide for myself? Do I know how to get where I need to go? Do I have the things that I need? That's what North Node and Taurus has been providing for us to make sure we have. Like, do you have the ability to create and make the shit that you need to have? Do you have the things that you need to make it through? Like, I was fucking not waxing, but wiping off my trucks. And I was like, thank God I got my trucks. Thank God I got gasoline. Thank God I got all these things, because this is going to feel trapped. And the reason why they're knocking the economy out is so everybody feels trapped. You can't get this. Discover card next month. If you buy a gun, they're going to report it. I mean, like, everything. And think about the way that the new financial system was working. Yeah, you didn't do this. You can't get gas. Well, you could have, when the North Node was in Taurus, you could have been preparing. And it doesn't matter where you're at, because look at all the satellites now and all the new Starlinks that just got put up and everything. They have access, and look at the balloons they got. And how funny they do it over the territory that doesn't have a lot of people, because they're also mapping the ground of who's in where. And they don't care about the cities, because they're looking for the people. Oh, I'm safe on my property up here in the middle of nowhere. No, that's exactly where they want to plant their shit. That's exactly where they are going to want to go. So there's nowhere to run away to or hide, especially World War III, World War II, though. Transit's all hitting now. So I would use this next 2 weeks to be focused on preparation to where you don't feel so stuck. Make sure you understand what you're doing, that you won't feel like, shit, this is going to take me forever to get out of it. This is the last thing I want to do. You want to make sure that you're on the most up and up spiritually in every place, relationship, situation, period. Because it's not going to be a place that's going to be easy to just retract and go, oh yeah, hold on. Like Aquarius, you can make a U-turn and come right back. You can't. It's a dead end with Pisces. So I would say the next 2 weeks is the most important 2 weeks of your whole entire life. And be aware and not be subconsciously just into the, oh yeah, hey. And they're going to pump it and make it feel like it's okay, even though we're taking this down, the Fed's raising the rate, and then the war's like, getting bad, and boom! Trap! Traps are out. And we're in the year of the rabbit, where it's easy to trap a little rabbit. So, that's my last take.
Yeah, traps are out.
You have any last part?
No, I gotta take a leak super bad.
Well, we're out of here. Make sure you join us on High Vibe. Follow Brian Fixed Your Moon on all his channels. And we appreciate you all. Join my Pluto Masterclass if you want to get to the understanding of your Pluto and how to survive through all these things and understand your most repressed, deepest shit that I bet you never even looked at Pluto the same. You just probably look at Pluto in your chart and go, oh, yeah, I have Pluto here. What does it mean? You'll know now. HighVibe.tv or High Vibe TV School. Appreciate it. Love you all. Bye.
Much love, everybody.